everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mallory Schnell, joined alongside meteorologist John Gordon and meteorologist Austin Evans. Today, of course, a weather impact alert day. We've been watching this potential for severe weather all week. One thing we know for certain is a very strong cold front is cutting through the region. So we are expecting temperatures to fall very abruptly overnight. We hit the 70s today. We're talking 20s and 30s tomorrow.
40-degree drop.
And some snow
That's
showers.
what we're looking
Fronts
at.
are coming. It's not far away. We
It's
got
not.
some storms initially, and boys, the temperature going to drop.
It's not so much cutting through the region, it's just plowing.
Plowing.
Through. It's just mowing through the region. Or at least it will be in a few hours from now.
Right. So what we're looking at here is we have our Max HD radar up, and you'll notice that we have some showers and thunderstorms that are beginning to roll into some of our western, or I should say northwestern counties, Jasper, Bedford, Paoli, English. You're just getting some nice rain right now. Maybe some gusty winds because it's been gusty all day long.
Probably hearing the thunder at this point. Maybe seeing some flashes on the horizon. Nothing severe is in Kentuckiana quite yet.
Right.
Thankfully, the only thing we have severe is the tornado watch, and that's just a watch.
Yes. So we are actually watching this second line that's been out to the west here. So I will try to circle it.
Yep.
You can see that line of still a lot of lightning along with it, but this has been the main line we've been tracking. I've been keeping an eye on it. I know you have too, and you have too, all day since it really started to spark up in central Missouri.
It started putting down some tornado warnings probably around 5 o'clock this afternoon, yeah.
So things have really changed. So the warnings you saw in Missouri and Illinois and Arkansas were during the heat of the day. The sun has gone down, and you're going to see less and less as a severe threat as the night goes on. We're very, very fortunate. The tornado warnings, when we came in here at 8:30, there was, I don't know, 20 tornado warnings. Now there's...
I don't think there's any.
Right.
I'll
So
see
I
it,
can
yeah.
actually, sometimes when you have the radar and the warnings, it can be a lot.
Oh, it's a mess.
But-
There's one down in southern Tennessee, and that's
Right. So you can
thoroughly outside of Kentuckiana.
you can tell where the line is.
Oh, yeah. It's about the cold front there.
Yeah, anything that's gold or yellow, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. The one red that we're seeing right now is in southern Tennessee. That's your tornado warning. But before this, we had tornado warnings in western Kentucky, southern Illinois, far eastern Missouri.
Yeah.
And we haven't had a lot of fuel to work with this storm setup to begin with.
Right.
And
this was always an upper level, like dynamically driven, shear type driven situation of, and obviously a line of storms rather than discrete cells. So we haven't had any cape really.
Yeah.
Like 500 at the most.
well, now that the sun's gone,
Oh yeah, we got no cape now pretty much.
that certainly helps. So we are under a tornado watch. If you've been watching the Oscars on WHAS11, you've been noticing, I'm sure, the banner on the bottom of the screen scrolling through all of our counties included in the tornado watch. And yes, the entire viewing area is included in this until 3 a.m. I'm sure it'll be chipped away as that leading edge goes along. But this is what we were talking about in terms of cape or storm fuel. So there was a little bit of it to the west when we had that nudge of dew points that were a little bit higher. But anytime you see gray, it's low. We don't have much cape to work with. So this severe weather setup the whole time has been really focused in on the forcing because this front is so incredibly strong. And I mean, you can tell we have a lot of wind energy to work with because it was so windy today, even before this front arrived.
Yeah, anything west of 65, you still got a wind threat. I think this Louisville eastbound, you're going to see maybe 40, maybe 50 mile an hour when the first line will be eaten by the second line. It's kind of like Pac-Man coming up here. So the main line that Austin said is the real front, and where temperatures just plummet. You want to show some temperatures?
Yeah, let's look at temps.
I mean, folks, I'm telling you, this is the real deal. In Oklahoma, they call it a blue norther, where the temperature drops at least 20 degrees an hour. But this thing's going to, look at that. Can you see where the front is?
It's 38 degrees in St. Louis right now, and
Wow. And they
three
had
hours ago
tornado
they had a
warnings.
tornado warning.
70 a few hours ago?
Yeah.
Where was that snow squall warning being issued?
Near Springfield, Missouri.
Yep.
In the Ozarks. So the
Shortly
front's
after
coming
a tornado warning.
So you got 72 in Louisville, 74 Bowling Green, Fort Campbell. But if you went to the dew points on the same thing, can you show that again? Do you mind? So you need some moisture to really work with the temperatures, and they're waning. There's a lot of wind energy. I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple severe thunderstorm warnings here in the next few hours, and that may be it.
Yeah, it's not bone dry per se, but when we're looking at storms that could get really, really nasty, those really rough, severe storms, and, you know, the potential for tornadoes. Really need those dew points 60 or above, or at least getting close to 60.
Upper 50s.
And we're just not really there. It's just not it's just not in the cards for us right now in terms of dew points.
Also, Nashville launches a weather balloon. So the one that went up tonight at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, it had a lid of warm air at 5,000 feet, which will prevent some of that wind getting down to the surface. And it also inhibits tornadoes a little bit. So we have some optimism here.
Right, yeah, these are all good things, all the things that we're saying, because it decreases our tornado threat, which was going to be kind of difficult to begin with, simply because we were lacking the instability or the fuel part of it. We have a lot of the wind energy, we have a lot of the forcing, but we always talk about severe weather like it's a recipe where we need all these ingredients to really make a big outbreak in certain areas. And we were alluding to, you know, I will say, regardless of severity, if you are needing to travel anywhere across the country, it's a mess. It is a mess.
I would expect that. I believe our shot there is frozen.
So we may want to take max
go
one full.
To full graphics, but yeah, that's a mess.
Because you're talking not only the precipitation, but so much wind and visibility issues, that's going to cause a lot of problems.
So that line of storms goes back up to the north, up near Chicago, and you have a big low pressure system up there that's 985 millibars, which is like almost a Category 2 hurricane. But what's the thing that really stands out? When I first came here at 8:30, there was a lot of tornado warnings. Illinois, Missouri. Now what do I notice? Blue. Look at all the blue. Marquette, Michigan may get 40 to 50 inches of snow. It's been snowing there all day long. You can still see it up there.
Wow.
And it's finally coming a little bit to an end there. But Milwaukee, Chicago, Minneapolis, they had a blizzard warning out for the entire Minneapolis Weather Service area, along with Des Moines. And folks, we're not going to get a blizzard here, but
yes, do not panic.
But some of that S you see in Kansas City and the Ozarks may get in here in the morning. And
which is why Monday is a weather impact alert day, not because it's winter apocalypse or anything, but lowered visibility is definitely going to be a problem all day tomorrow, just kind of off and on. Scattered snow showers expected throughout the day, so your travel is going to be inhibited a little bit. Shouldn't see any major, widespread slick spots. Spotty slick spots going to be possible, stray one here and there, but lowered visibility is going to be the main driving factor to why no one's going to know how to drive tomorrow across most of Kentucky.
look at that blizzard.
Look at just how busy this map is.
For March.
The orange is the blizzard warning, guys.
That's just remarkable. Minneapolis
weird color
was
for a
in
blizzard
it.
warning.
They dropped it to a winter storm warning, but
And then out west, critical fire weather. Almost the whole state of New Mexico and Texas.
And folks, if you have anyone that you know in Washington, D.C., Richmond, Raleigh, Charlottesville, anyone in the Carolinas, tomorrow will be much worse than it is here in Louisville.
Yeah, let me actually bring up the day 2.
That'd be great.
Because there's a day 2 moderate.
Yeah, this thing, you've got some sunshine early. You may get some what's called supercells, rotating thunderstorms, and then this line that we're going through here soon here in Louisville will eventually get over there in the peak of the afternoon. And I warned my dad tonight, you better be staying home and be prepared to go to your bathroom south of Raleigh. That whole area, Washington, D.C., for once, Washington, D.C. will be covered by more by weather than what's going on there. So from Washington, D.C. to...
How often do they put out moderates on a day 2? You don't see it very much.
You didn't used to see it. They're seeing a little bit more than they used to. They're trying to be more aggressive, letting out. But in the old days, oh gosh, no, you'd never see that. That would just be shocking. But yeah, that whole area tomorrow, that's tomorrow afternoon. So the I-95 corridor, folks, anyone over there.
It's the same system too. Same cold front.
But the weather does get quiet after this thing goes off the eastern seaboard.
Right. We do get a lot quieter. We get chilly for the next couple of days, but...
Which is better than this. There's been a lot of warnings the last few days.
Had a question earlier during the Facebook Live, is like when we're going to get into, more consistent warm weather. And it's still hard to answer that because we're still like in mid-March and, we could have cold weather all the way up to Derby. But we're going to start seeing more consistent warm weather with cold spells here and there. We're going to start seeing that. We have been seeing that really this whole month.
Right.
More consistent warm weather with cold spells. We're going to
Yeah.
continue seeing that pattern probably at least a couple more times.
I mean, it's just March around here is always,
Yeah, I think March.
to me, is the
yeah.
most up and down month that we get.
It's been fun being back in it.
So the thing about the March in early April is it comes in and out and comes in and out. Whereas November, it just comes out one time. Boom. You get this one wild swing and it's over. This
Yeah.
thing can go on for 50 days.
We do this for a while. Through Easter, you never know what Easter, I mean, as somebody who grew up here.
You want to do some can we do some radar?
Yeah, let's take John's computer full if we can for just a moment, and he's gonna do some
Okay.
radar analysis.
So let's go through this whole thing first. So the first thing, folks, if you're in Jasper, you're out in Paoli, you're out in Salem, that's the first line of storms. This is in the upper left, that's reflectivity. That's getting close. We're maybe about 25 miles from Louisville, Milltown, Hardinsburg, Alton. All this is moving off. We'll do a little loopy-de-doop here. It's all moving off to the east, northeast at about 35, 40 miles an hour. Now, that's the first line. That is not really the severe line. The second line is where they're still putting severe thunderstorm warnings. Terre Haute, Vincennes, Princeton, Evansville. I'm looking to see what the wind is. When we get the observation at the Evansville airport, that will be a good sign for the Weather Service to see what they actually measured there. The green and all that stuff, that just shows you the velocity or the winds coming through there. Bottom right, you can actually really see. Those are all the warnings right now. So they got to make some chess moves, how far east they're going to go. Would not be surprised Du Bois County might go into a severe thunderstorm warning. Is that thing a little bit of a Boeing signature? You can see that little arc there. That's some of the things we look at where wind is pushing back from the west side into the east. And we'll go to the, this software you can buy at home, by the way. This line from Radarscope, and I don't care, Radarscope or GR, this is all fun stuff. You got a youngster at home who loves weather, this is the best gift in the world right here. I'm telling you, it's nothing better. So, all right, let's go to Vincennes. So this stuff's actually going to get up to our northwestern communities, Bedford, Shoals, Paoli, all in there. So this area right here is moving off to the east. You're in Vincennes, home of Red Skeleton, and now that's moving off to the northeast, and that's got a little Boeing signature. See how it arcs? So wind is pushing into the line and pushing out. Would not be surprised they extend that severe thunderstorm warning. I don't know all those counties. The county west of Bedford. So whatever that county is, Shoals, they may get a severe thunderstorm warning. We'll see if they continue to move east. Further down, this line looks more puny, which is wonderful. Actually, I'm kind of thinking that the low pressure area is what's really driving that, and we just have to watch to see if that's going to push up towards Bedford.
So you were talking about the Evansville Regional Airport.
What did they measure?
OBS, 61 as of a few minutes ago. So 61 degrees.
What's their
for the
wind? I want to know what their
temperature.
wind they measured when
Okay, I
they
thought
came
you were
through.
looking-
What's the actual
wind speed, 12 miles an hour.
What time was the OBS?
8:54 Central, so 2 minutes ago.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the old one.
maybe 4 minutes
We need
ago.
the new one. It's coming through right now, like probably next 5 minutes. That thing's pushing. That's the one cell that really. Now they did put a severe out. That's interesting. That's down in just west of Bowling Green. That's Todd and Christian counties out of Hopkinsville. So let's take a gander at that one. This is the Paducah radar. Let's see what they got on the northwest side here. All right, there we go. They had a measured gust of 60. Well, that's probably why they did. 4 miles west of Linville in Graves County had a gust to 60 miles an hour. And they had some pea hail, which, okay, that's fine. Anyway, this line is kind of curly-cueing down there from Cadiz. This stuff will get close to Grayson County in our southwestern communities, and that just has to be watched. And we'll go to Radarscope really quick, and I'll turn it back to Mallory. Let's go to the Fort Campbell radar and take a look at this one. Yeah, it's bowing a little bit. That one just needs to be watched. It looks like they just put a tornado warning in there. Or is that a severe? Is that?
No, that's a tornado
That's
warning.
a
You're on
tornado,
radar
so I
scope.
thought. Yeah, they're putting it on the leading edge. So that's the one. That's going towards the county seat, going over there, Waynesboro, and moving off to the northeast at 50. The latest warning had 45 miles an hour, tornado, isolated quarter-size hail. That cell's got a little bit of a signature. We'll watch that, and I'll turn it back to Mallory.
Oh, you're good. Thank you. I know a few people are joining on Facebook Live, and they're all about timing. When is this going to arrive? So as we've been talking about, we have kind of these two segments of storms that are rolling through. The main line is still on the west side. And then we have the stuff that's been coming out in front, where we do have that severe thunderstorm warning right on the tail end there, just northeast of Hopkinsville. So these are moving pretty fast, I would say. Let's see what the warnings say before I put a tracker on it. One moment. Okay, 60, 65 miles per hour. So they are moving very quickly.
Okay.
Yes. So if I put a time.
Yeah, some move, they got 45, 50, 55, 60.
Yeah. So for Louisville, I mean, this is still what the model said, around 11:30, 11:15, 11:30. Jasper, 10:19, so within the next 20 minutes. Bedford, 10:40. And in fact, we can take you through an hour-by-hour futurecast here. I'm going to see. I don't think the graph has been initializing that second line. I know you all said the HER had a little bit.
HER did a good job.
It was never showing the break.
I
Right.
think Louisville, 11,
which is my
15 to
mistake
11:30,
using it.
unless something changed.
So this continues to move east. Ooh, that slowed down.
And that is moving a little slower.
Well, she's doing that really quick. I'm just going to say this. If you're on I-64, I'm telling you, it is not a pleasant drive. If you go from the Marengo exit to Ferdinand out there to the state line of Illinois, it is just a mess with some strong winds and very heavy rain. Won't last long, but it won't be pretty. So please, please slow down.
Yeah, even the model's just not dealing well with that second line. But I would say Louisville, yes, we've been talking 11:15, 11:30.
Yeah.
Crossing I-65.
I think that's not a bad number.
By the time it gets here, hopefully, maybe, possibly, we can see it weaken a little bit. It's not weakening much, but it's more of a mess than it was earlier, especially the second line. Second line was much more organized earlier during the heat of the day, as we said.
FROPA line, frontal passage.
Yeah.
Where was that one tornado warning you were looking
I
at,
just
John?
saw it. Now I see severe. That's why I'm so
Yeah.
confused.
I saw
I read
it too.
a tornado, and now it says severe.
Was it the one in, you weren't looking at the one in Tennessee,
No,
right?
I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand that. That's just so strange.
So disregard that, I guess.
That's a severe Bowling Green, and it's got hail too. That hail part was right. Yeah, disregard. I think maybe I'm getting old. But east of Hopkinsville, moving off to the northeast at about 60, maybe 55, 60 miles an hour.
Is that place called Kirkmansville?
Kirkmansville.
Never heard of this.
Yeah.
This
So
Kirkman.
as you notice, the one thing, I think the second line, the one that's right on Evansville, which I want to see that OBS at the airport, that's going to come and just take the first line with it, and it'll have one main line about 11 o'clock. They'll merge together. So that could give it a little bit of boost as it gets into Louisville. If I was in Louisville, I expect winds on the low end, 40 miles an hour, on the high end, 60 miles an hour in case they put a severe out, and they're about to come together. Notice that they're really focusing more on the north side of the line, Vincennes up towards Bloomington.
Yes, so for anybody just hopping on this stream now because, you know, you might be scrolling through Facebook or looking at the WHAS11 Plus app, we are streaming not because we have any active warnings currently in the Kentuckiana viewing area. This is all off to our west right now, but we wanted to give you all a heads up on what we're seeing around the region, and the general trend has been a lot of tornado warnings off to our west and not so many as it's continuing to march eastward, which is a good
Yeah, my sense is we're really
progression.
going to luck out. That is my feeling. I feel that the instability's gone way down, but there's some wind signatures here and there. I think Louisville expects some really strong winds of at minimum 40 miles an hour, maybe. If it gets the worst case, it'd be around 60 miles an hour between 11 and 12 o'clock.
which we've already had at some time today.
Yeah, you have power outages, don't you?
Yes. Let me actually pull up. I have LG&E up. So when I originally looked at this, I mean, not too long ago, it was 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
There was 2,500 customers. We're now back down to 1,800, which is good because something, you know, if you're not charging your phone right now, you should do that, A. And B, worried about power outages with the big cold blast coming because temperatures are going to drop like a rock overnight. We were in the 70s today. You might have been able to open your windows if it weren't too windy for you, but tomorrow is going to be a different story. Temperatures will be in the 20s and 30s, and this is just a general thing for anybody who uses the Apple weather app on your phone. Tomorrow is a perfect example of why you should not do that because it says there's a high of 62 tomorrow. Well, that may be the case.
That will happen at about midnight. Yep.
Yeah, that's so misleading.
And I can't tell you how many times I've had friends who, you know, just rely on the weather app. And they're like, oh my gosh, I thought today was supposed to be in the whatever, but it was a midnight high, and they didn't realize that. So most of tomorrow will be in the 20s and 30s. It will not be in the 60s.
I used to argue with some TV Mets that I was just like, okay, we have a high temperature. It is 24 hours. Midnight is part of the 24 hours. So we would put sometimes in the chat, daytime high of blank.
Right. I think it's more important to tell people what the high will be when they're out and about.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Not when you're
sleeping. A high temperature at 1 a.m. doesn't
Weather
mean
people
anything.
always try to, we have too many data. We have too much data.
We're like, do we want to be specific for the almanac, or do we want to tell people what is actually beneficial?
There is something we do behind the scenes every day that we have to go on the almanac data.
Yeah.
And it's one of those weird things.
Yeah.
Pulled up the NWS hourly obs from Evansville Regional at 2054. It'd be central, 12 mile per hour.
Yeah, let me talk about this real quick. So we got a new severe thunderstorm warning. So folks, I want to really focus on Litchfield, Grayson County. So if you hear my voice, hear our voice, Caneyville, Beaver Dam area, if you're heading that way. Grayson County, so I got new severes coming out of Western Kentucky. They've been expanding it out of Hopkinsville. In fact, there's a plethora of severe thunderstorm warnings down in that area right now.
It's like a huge polygon right now.
And I see the one of interest on my, well, you can go on your screen. It's the one just south of Greenville. Be up in this part, yeah. That one's got a little bit of a Boeing signature where it's kind of gusting out. That will be heading into Butler County. That's Morgantown. And before you know it, it's going to be in Caneyville to Litchfield, I'm guessing in the next 35, 40 minutes. So
heads up Grayson County.
Grayson County, yep.
This is a severe thunderstorm warning, by the way.
I don't see a tornado threat in it.
So this one is just packing a bit more of a punch.
Yeah, there's the wind velocity. Yeah, it really does stand out. South of Greenville, northwest of Russellville and Logan County. So that one, Litchfield, I would think that's one that they might put a severe out. We'll have to see. Meanwhile, to the north, did you ever get a wind out of Evansville? Can you check their METAR?
I got south off the National Weather Service, south 12 miles per hour, right at the top of the hour.
Okay, yeah, that's the old one. I'm going to look while you guys do your thing.
Yeah, so big picture view. This is what we're looking at. Let me actually pull up the SAT-RAD so you all can see the scope of this storm and why it's so dynamic. I know, as we mentioned before, even if you're not staying here at home, if you're trying to travel, one of our managers was attempting to travel tomorrow, and she's having to reroute her flight because of what's happening in Chicago. Did you get a gust?
Evansville disgusted at 56 knots. That was at 02, let's say that was 7 minutes ago. That means I wouldn't be surprised you get a severe out very quick. Gust 250, that's out of the west-southwest, 35, or let's see, 38 miles an hour.
Yep.
1 mile's visibility really dropped down on the runway. Lightning, yeah, 56 knots is very severe. It's beyond 50.
64 miles per hour for those playing at home.
No, I'm thinking,
conversion.
calculating. Yeah, that's the one I've been looking for.
They just issued a
Imagine that when
Send
they
me
got
that
the
link.
Well, I just typed up the obs on the thing. That's all.
This is until
I had a feeling that was going to happen. When they go?
10 p.m. Central Time.
So that's a
11 p.m.
game
Eastern
changer
Time.
on the severe side. So what that's going to do is they just put that out. Yeah, imagine that, just a little bit east. So the Louisville Paducah border is at the Du Bois-Perry County line. And then Louisville's going to have to make some decisions because they just put out a big old warning, didn't they?
That's a
Right up to the edge.
It's like a giant ship or sailboat. That's moving east at, what do they got in the warning? East at what, 50?
70.
They went
I
70.
think book it.
Moving northeast at 70 miles per hour. At least the
Allegedly.
That
Allegedly.
particular
Allegedly.
area.
Sometimes I don't hit the track button right. Oh, there we go. Well, Louisville just issued. Du Bois
Yep.
County.
Du
We got a
Bois
severe
County.
thunderstorm warning, all because of that wind at the airport.
Yep.
Yeah, so these are warned for 60 mile per hour plus wind gust.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at. I mean, technically 58 miles per, but
Yeah,
60
whatever.
mile per hour wind gust. So Jasper now included in a severe thunderstorm warning, and I just got the notification. Thank you.
Yep, 50 to 60 mile an hour winds.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff. So Jasper, where are they going to track that in there? Where are they going to be? The big towns are Ferdinand, Jasper.
Huntingburg, Holland, Du Bois, Hillam, Millersport, Ellsworth. This is moving northeast at 65 miles per hour per the warning. So let's track this thing.
Yeah. I'd put a movement of 55. if it
Yeah,
was
just
me.
be.
I think 70 is a tad on the high
Yeah, well,
side.
70 was the Evansville one. I was like, that is fast.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
But I mean, I guess the fast movement of this line kind of makes sense with it meeting up and
Yeah, they're
joining
eating each
with
other.
the-
Pac-Man. I said
almost
this is kind of
bump
like
drafting.
Pac-Man. There you go.
Jasper at 10:23 Eastern Time, Patoka Lake, Paoli at 10:44. If it continues that east, kind of northeast track,
Yeah,
Leavenworth at 10:56.
yeah. So if I was at the Weather Service in Louisville, I'd be, the next chess move is going to be Perry County, Tell City. Tell City, you will probably at least be under a special weather statement for 50 or a severe thunderstorm warning for 60 here in the next few minutes as that line moves off the east. They're going to try to get some more ground truth. Next airport they can get out of is Owensboro, OWB. So we look at weather observations at the airport to try to get ground truth observations. That's why I was looking at Evansville. That's why I kept asking them. I want to see that wind right there.
Literally in the NWS chat, when they were talking about that Du Bois County warning, it's because Evansville gusted to 65. So
Imagine that.
it's like this guy worked at the NWS
I've
for
seen this
decades.
a ton. I'm very old. Yeah, so that's all moving up to the east, and what we thought might happening appears to be happening where the two lines are congealing. We're trying to congel into one, and then the stuff on the leading edge I don't believe will be severe at all. It's the stuff in the second round along the front, which means the cold, even though there's not much moisture, the cold pool from this thing goes back to, good gosh, central Missouri, and it's been going and going and going, and
Yeah,
now it's here.
right.
So before you know it, it will be here in the metro. I would think 11:20, 11:40 is game time.
Probably during our 11 o'clock newscast.
What a
so.
shocking thing.
Yeah. So this stretches, we have severe thunderstorm warnings from northern Indiana down to Louisiana.
Yep.
And thankfully just one tour right now down in southern Tennessee.
Yeah, that's the only game in town, that one.
It's warmer down
And
there, too.
if you think this is just here, I just happened to look in Mississippi. They've got warnings. They go
Yeah, do you see all that?
way into, now Louisiana, they go way down.
Oh, yeah, there's warnings. Looks like Natchitoches Parish under some sort of severe thunderstorm warning.
So all this stuff's going to be our friend James Spann down in Birmingham. He's going to be up all night long with that line going through Alabama. And then it keeps going through Tennessee, Georgia, and then the Carolinas are under the gun. We talked about that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, so if anybody hopped on here late, all of this will continue to march eastward. And tomorrow, there's a moderate risk. That's what you're seeing in the red from D.C. down to Columbia, South Carolina. And part of that's just due to the timing that it looks like that's going to move through. So the fuel
of the
that we are
atmosphere.
lacking
Middle of the
today, they will not be lacking tomorrow.
Yeah, they got moisture. They got a little bit more in play, and it's coming through the peak of the day. And there's some indications there could be a couple, which we are really bad, those discrete storms all by themselves, and that could be a problem. I mean, that's a busy corridor where that area is.
Yeah, so heads up, make sure friends, family know to be on the lookout tomorrow as all of this marches eastward. We don't like to see red on the NWS or the SPC maps there. And I can take you through the futurecast here. So we have that one line out in front, the main line still on the backside, and this will continue to march eastward over the next couple of hours here. Still looking to clear our counties. So like Frankfort is basically the first county that's not ours in the WHAS 11 area. So this is still out of here by about 2 o'clock. We have the tornado watch until 3 a.m. And then after that, you might still have some rain, but the bigger impact tomorrow, take a look at your screen. I know we've been focusing a lot on the severe weather potential for good reason, but we have been also talking about the huge drop in temperatures and how storms will turn over to snow. So we could have some bursts of snow showers tomorrow that could lead to lowered visibility at times. The warmer ground temperature should help us out, but depending on how intense some of these snow bursts are, we could get a little bit of grassy accumulations.
Yeah, I think half inch is on the table.
Yeah, so from spring back to winter there.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with my flowers, so if any of you folks out there, send me a note. I don't know what to
we
do.
told y'all not to plant.
I gotta cover plants that are coming up. They're budding, like my hydrangeas. I don't know what to do.
Well, and then it's like, yeah, we have not only a freeze, we have a hard freeze tomorrow night in the teens.
What's your number in there?
18.
Yeah, 18, yeah. Remember we kept saying go low.
That's pretty rough.
Go low. Go lower, Mallory. Lower. Lower.
And wind chill values, feels like temperatures going into Tuesday morning going to be in the single digits. So Tuesday morning is going to be the really big shock, I think. Not even, tomorrow's going to be cold, but Tuesday morning you're going to walk up and be like, what did 76 degrees 2 days ago? And it was. And
much better week starting Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah,
Friday.
look at that consistency.
That looks beautiful.
That's nice.
Not bad.
This is just temporary, as my grandmother would say. It's just temporary. All right, so folks, so let's talk about a couple things. First off, with the line, notice, I think it's got 55 movement. So Jasper, the next county is going to be Perry, Indiana, and then Orange, Crawford. So folks in Paoli, it's just around the corner. If you're in English, it's just around the corner. Tell City before you know it. Hawesville and Hancock County. Also the one that's coming out of the southwest, out of Greenville. That's going to go through Butler and then get into Grayson County in our viewing area. So folks in Caneyville, I know a lot of folks in Caneyville and Litchfield, Clarkson on the that's the Parkway. So the Parkway, have a plan of action driving on there. It's going to be very heavy rain. It doesn't last long, but your visibility will go from excellent to
and at night. And at night too.
Yeah.
So like your visibility already isn't all that great. Especially if your headlights may be, yellowed over or whatnot.
Yeah.
I'd try not to go anywhere tonight if you can. If you'd have to, for any reason, just take it extra slow. Turn on your headlights, turn on your windshield wipers, and take your time because this is very, very heavy rain and also some pretty strong winds to boot. So you'll be driving through with very low visibility and you'll be pushed around on the roadways. So just be careful.
I think the Weather Service will likely issue Orange, Crawford, Perry. So we'll see what they do. But if you're you want to do a track? If you're in Paoli, English, Tell City, minimum on the leading edge of that line, a minimum of 45 to 50 mile an hour, but they may put a severe route that goes out to 60 miles an hour. That's Orange County, Crawford County, and Perry County. I would think for sure that's an area that they may issue warnings for, okay?
So Jasper about 10:11 Central Time for Bowling Green, but that's way down south. 11:37 for Louisville, staying right on the line that we were expecting. And then after midnight, going into Cincinnati and Lexington, getting out of Kentuckiana. So there's
what time are you going to bring to Louisville? For the
a
folks
couple
in
of times. Folks in Louisville, 11:37.
Yeah.
Kind of within, I think it may be within 15 minutes on both ends of that too, so maybe as early as 11:15.
So that line is now getting in the western part of Du Bois, so they're going to have to make a decision very soon what to do. I just saw who issued the warning. A very good person is issuing warning at the Weather Service right now. Ryan is on. And Orange, Crawford, Perry counties. Orange, Crawford, Perry counties. So you're in Paoli, going down to English and Birdseye, right off the interstate, down to Leopold and Tell City. I would expect winds, no matter what the Weather Service does, in about 20 minutes, you're going to get winds between 40 and 60 miles an hour. It only lasts about 6 minutes. Gone.
Yeah, it'll blow through fast when it happens. Unfortunately, when it does blow through, that's when we're going to get that potential, the potential for damaging wind. And we're not talking, the big healthy trees being knocked over, but I've already seen some people complaining about the siding of their house being pulled off. I think I saw a Reddit thread about that earlier for Louisville. So damage like that, somewhat superficial, more annoying rather than catastrophic damage is probably going to happen.
So if you have anything outside loose and unsecure, if you're in
Unsecured
Paoli,
things,
Salem, trash cans, or whatever outside that you don't want to be out there,
bring in your porch goose.
Yeah.
A lot of them been getting stolen around Louisville anyway.
Gordon, Lanesville, English, Tell City, Brandenburg, Hardensburg, all in the next 25 to 30 minutes. And they're going to make a move soon. I would think in the next 5 minutes. So they'll go special weather statement 50 or they'll go severe 60 miles an hour, moving off to the east, 55, 60 miles an hour. 70, I don't agree with. But anyway, it's moving to the east. Your rainfall, quarter, half inch most. In and out. So if you put your fertilizer done, you were a smart person, then this will be a good thing. So
there was a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust from a spotter in this is southern Kentucky, but Christian County.
Yeah, it's that one they issued on. Yep. Yeah. And that's really good, Mallory. They just put a humongous severe thunderstorm warning out. Good gosh, that went out of Madisonville.
Let's take a look at it.
That's a big old boy. That's going to go, that whole area is congealing a little bit, and we'll head to Grayson County. And our folks in Grayson County, you want to do any kind of track?
So are you talking about this storm?
Yeah, that big one. Yeah, it's a big old boy.
All right, so this one near Madisonville. Yeah, they're starting to conjoin, as you were mentioning.
Yeah.
Let's see what they put on the warning here.
Where'd they go? They go 60, probably 60.
Northeast at 55
Or
for
possible,
60 mile per
probably,
hour wind gust.
I've been watching carefully to look to see if there's any little nubs or things. That's what we look on. These squall lines are very difficult to work radar, incredibly difficult. And you just look for little features that stand out.
I'm gonna need to actually zoom in because this is too wide of a view. Let's zoom in on this severe thunderstorm warning that we were talking about.
Ugh. Look at this thing. Ugh. Where is that? It's coming out of Morgan County.
So this moving northeast slightly. Hardensburg at 10:17 Central Time. I was like, that's if this continues to move 50 miles per hour or so. So that's when we're starting to watch. Now you may have storms before that. So that is the issue with these storms that you're seeing out ahead of the main line. So these are the storms, some showers to the north, out ahead of the main forcing line, which is back here. This was the line, that second line that you see to the west, that was the line that carried the tornado threat earlier, and is now basically just a line of severe thunderstorm warnings all across the board. So if I take the radar off and we just look at the warnings, you'll notice here, it goes from, I-70 down to the state border and then continues southward from there.
And it's completely coinciding with that second line. That's where the front is. That's where the forcing is. The storms out ahead of it that you're seeing right now in Kentuckiana, not particularly strong, at least as of now. They're probably loud and annoying, with plenty of gusting wind, definitely. And we just got a warning, got put out.
Yes, right here.
Going into Grayson County.
That's the one I was talking about.
It's clipping Grayson County here. This is our next severe thunderstorm warning until 10:15 Central Time. So they're putting these out for a while. This has been located near Dunmore, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour, and you're talking 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So northern Butler County, southwestern Grayson County, southeastern Ohio County, and this includes Morgantown, Casey, Lee, Rochester, Munford, Horse Branch, Huntsville. It's inching toward Caneyville there.
And 55 miles per hour is a little more sensible than I think the 75 mile per hour one was for the movement. Just because 75 is really fast. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Maybe once or twice. And this one's kind of out by itself.
Okay, Fort Campbell is near that one warning to the southwest. They're gusting up to 34 right now. It's almost on top of them. This whole area's got a really strong surge of wind down here on southwestern Kentucky. That's all pushing up. The one they issued for that's going to be in western Grayson County. It's really a mess on radar. There's a bunch of wind pushing back on the backside. Morgantown up to Caneyville, that whole area up to the, I wouldn't be surprised you get a severe any momentarily coming out to the north of there. That's the stuff that's going to go in Ohio County, Hartford, over to Breckenridge, Hardinsburg, Perry. No matter what, if they don't put a warning out, I expect 50 to 55 to 60 mile an hour winds. Perry, Crawford, Orange, Breckenridge, and Ohio counties.
So it's incoming, folks.
Believe me, it's coming. I can keep giving. We can keep giving you heads up. If you're in Louisville, 11:37. If you're in Elizabethtown, about the same time. If you're Litchfield, before you know it, that cell will be there. They got a warning up against your doorstep.
Yes, yeah. So that's our newest warning. This is the first one that's actually cut into any of our viewing area. And this is just west of Caneyville. It's that little slice there, but we're going to keep watching it to see if they continue to extend things. And keep in mind, especially if you're in southern Indiana, when we're giving you these timings and we're talking about the severe thunderstorm warnings, you may very well hear rain before you have the worst of the line. That includes the severe wind gusts, because as we mentioned, there's showers ongoing in Bedford, Seymour, Salem, Paoli, English, but you can tell that this main line is moving into Jasper right now. So where things are redder and a bit more stark, that is where your strongest winds are.
The hope would be the stuff out in front of the main line would maybe help destabilize the atmosphere, but this line is moving so quickly that might not have time to do that. So you're still going to get a really strong line of thunderstorms move through regardless, and they will include the strong wind that we've been talking about that's on the way.
So Owensboro, that's just southeast of Evansville. That only gusted to 34, but the main line's not there. It's ahead of it. They're getting east-southeast winds, so that wind is feeding into that line that's coming out. I love that town, Santa Claus. I love Santa Claus. Who doesn't like Santa Claus? Santa Claus down that whole line, and it's really showing classic characteristics of a squall line with these little nubs and ridges, and there's one cell that kind of gets your attention, and that is on the farthest southwestern part of that new warning that Mallory just talked about. I'm looking for a town. I have no town. It is way in the southwestern part of that warning, just northeast of Hopkinsville, right here. Where is that?
Oh, this, so
that one right
this.
there. Aha. That's the area that got my attention.
Dogwood.
Yeah, I'll draw it right here. That area right there, definitely something to watch. As this storm, let's take a look at the movement. And that's just one. It's not rotating yet, but it gets your attention.
So this is still far to our southwest, but John is looking at.
Yeah.
He's thinking ahead. And that's how he's trained. He's been trained to think ahead.
I'm too far ahead, probably. But anyway, folks, Orange, Crawford, Perry, Breckenridge, Ohio, all expect 50 mile an hour winds plus. They put out Du Bois County, and they got the one that goes, Mallory set up in the Grayson, but I would not be surprised to see another warning or two in between, somewhere between Orange and Breckenridge.
So we're just watching this line with you all as this strong, strong cold front cuts across the region tonight. So we've been mentioning that this kind of setup is an interesting one because we have a lot of forcing, we have a lot of wind energy, we don't have a lot of fuel. Dew points today didn't get to be too impressive at all. And, you know, typically you want more instability for severe weather, but we are working with such a strong forcing mechanism, this front, as you can tell, because we have severe storms along the leading edge and then wraparound snow on the backside. And John, you mentioned an area in Missouri that dealt with severe weather and then snow squalls.
Pretty bizarre.
All in one day.
Yeah, so this is a classic.
Probably within a few hours.
Yeah.
Not even just the day.
Yeah, this is mainly a severe wind event tonight. Winds, low end 40, high end up to 65, and we're just watching these storms as they move to the east. There could be an isolated tornado warning, but I think the main threat is going to be wind and wind along this line. I think any given spot on that line with that red you see that we're showing you probably lasts 6 minutes, 7 minutes. And we rain outside of it, but the really intense winds, not very long.
Well, and that's the good thing, bad thing with these kind of squall lines. When they move so fast, it's difficult for National Weather Service meteorologists to keep an eye on them if there is a tornado threat, because anytime it nubs, you know, they may have to trigger it, and because they know that that can move very quickly. But also the good news is the severe part of the storm will not be over you long.
Right there. That's
because
same thing.
it's moving very quickly.
I have worked severe weather events where a tornado touched down and lifted, and then it got warned because it happened so fast. And NWS was watching other parts of the storm.
Or even watching that storm, it happens that quick.
Yeah, it can happen very quickly. That's why we bring up the isolated tornado threat. Even though it hasn't been that high, it hasn't been that high the whole time. But I've been mentioning it because it's possible, and we want you to be prepared for it.
Yeah, it's just a lot of linear wind pushing. You can actually see it in the reflectivity. You can see it pushing along the line. So that's a solid 50 line. Basically, Evansville southbound. So if you go Evansville to almost Fort Campbell, that's anywhere on that line is going to be, it's approaching Madisonville. Just on Madisonville, I beg your pardon. Hopkinsville, Owensboro, it's coming towards you, Santa Claus. And it's going to continue to move off to the east at between 50 and 60 miles an hour. And before you know it, it will be on top of you here in Louisville or Mount Washington or wherever you might be. Want to do some safety rules at night for folks?
So when we're looking at storms like this, and thankfully, at least right now, none are tornadic. But the main thing, the big thing, is having methods of being warned. Your smartphone is a great method of being warned. Where is that box? I thought we had a weather radio box under here. But a weather radio is a fantastic way to be notified of severe weather. The whole point of wanting to be notified is the fact that you might not be paying attention. You might be watching the Oscars, or you might be getting ready and going to bed, or you might already be in bed. You need a severe weather alert system that will get your attention, perhaps wake you up. Our app makes a noise. Is it you talking? That doesn't happen? Okay, it makes a noise and it pops up, hey, severe thunderstorm warning or what have you. Some apps talk to you and will actually say what type of alert is being issued for your location. So you want to have a way to get it notified. Then if you get placed under a severe thunderstorm warning, you don't necessarily need to go into a shelter, but I would highly recommend staying away from windows, staying away from exterior walls, just in case, because those winds are going to be strong, at least 60 miles per hour in terms of the wind gusts, which could cause damage, which could cause flying debris, which could break your windows. And if you happen to be near them, that would be a pretty unfortunate situation because you might get hurt. So you would want to just maintain where you were, preferably in the center of your house. It'd be a good time to go down to a basement if you had one, and then just ride out the storm. Again, once the worst of the storm is over us, it's not going to last long, 10 minutes, 15 at the most. The main line, once that passes over, you're going to be good in terms of the severe weather threat. You'll be in the clear after that. No one's in the clear yet. We're still waiting for that main line to move in. And ahead of it is some thunderstorms that we're keeping an eye on as well. And in fact, you can see there on Max HD radar, the main line is the brightest red, and it's got most of the lightning in it. That will be moving into Kentuckiana momentarily. Not too long from now.
Can we go to my screen?
We will see that. Let's take the ROI computer. John Gordon has been analyzing some things while I was talking safety.
Okay, so let's go to the one that most concerns me. Yeah, they got a severe out for Du Bois. Yes, they got the severe out that goes into Grayson County. Let's go back a little bit to the west. This is the county, oh gosh, my counties. It's near Rochester Ferry, Greenville, my mind, whatever county that is. This thing's starting to rotate a little bit. It's got a little inflow notch.
Yeah.
And that's going to be towards Morgantown. That's the county seat of Butler County. It's got 2 little notches in here. That's 2 areas the Weather Service is definitely monitoring. You can see a little red rotational couplet right there. This is all moving. I'll draw so everyone can see what I'm talking about. There we go. Mallory paid for me. I better use it. Anyway, there's 2 little notches right in there. That's all moving off to the northeast. And that's a storm that they are definitely watching at the Weather Service, moving off to the northeast. So that's the first thing. The second thing is this whole line. I'll stop it here for a moment. This whole line is definitely moving. It's got, look at this little wavy thing. See this little budge right there? That's an area that watches for rotation. And then they watch this one, and they look at every little part of that line to decide if there's enough rotation issue a tornado away. What's interesting is right down here in the southern part of the area, this thing is really bowing, and it's moving this way. So I expect to have warnings. Let's see, those aren't our viewing area, but Logan County, Warren County, part of Butler County, our southern part, I believe they'll continue to move those off to the east. And we'll see what they're now. Oh my gosh, as predicted, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, Washington County.
What a surprise. We said that 25 minutes ago.
Yeah, so if you're in Paoli, you're included in this, up to Bedford,
That's a big warning.
Mitchell. It goes just up to Salem's doorstep there. French Lick included in this. This is until 11:15 Eastern time. So this is all for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts.
Yep.
These are all kind of stereotypical severe thunderstorm warnings. Not too worried about hail for most of these storms tonight. So we're just talking wind. And this is until, as I mentioned, 11:15. Salem, Paoli, French Lick, Orangeville, Campbellsburg, West Baden Springs, of course. That general area is under this new severe thunderstorm warning. So that's as this, if you all can tell from the radar here, we have all this rain out front. You all are like, oh, it's been raining in Salem and Paoli. What we're looking at is this stuff back here, this red stuff. This is where the gusty winds are. So that is the main line we've been watching. That's continuing to track to the east, slightly northeast, but mainly east. And that's what's going to bring you your severe thunderstorm gusts, as well as the heaviest downpours and likely some frequent lightning. But as we've been mentioning, these storms, they are booking pretty quickly. So the worst of it will be over you, and then we'll continue to track off to the east. Now, I know, most people want to know, do we still have a tornado threat? We do. It's still there. We have this tornado watch until 3 a.m. And usually when watches are issued, the SPC has to make a decision with local NWS offices. Do we go severe? Do we go tornado? Usually, if there's even a chance for a tornado, they'll likely go tornado rather than severe thunderstorm warning. So that's why we are under this. And to be fair, the line that's moving in from the west had a lot of tornado warnings on it just a couple hours ago.
It was a justified watch that they put out. Now, we were anticipating it. I was expecting a watch to be put out. Probably like 30 minutes before it actually did, because this line was producing a lot more tornado warnings than it is right now. I'm thankful that it's not doing that here, though we do have one in southern Kentucky that we can talk about.
Yeah, this is southern Kentucky into northern Tennessee there, heading toward Russellville until 10:30. So this is right on the Kentucky-Tennessee line that they're watching. And let me pull up radar to see.
Yeah, I can show you something if you pull it up.
It does appear to be radar indicated.
All right, you can, if you all can pull up, okay, so we're looking at this little notch.
Right there, there it is.
So right here
That's legit.
is what they're looking at for that area.
Totally
rotation.
legit.
So that's too cluttered.
And we have a couple up here as well. When you move up, I can show you.
Sure.
Go up, zoom in a little bit, zoom in. So where is this?
Got a new warning for
west
Washington
of
County.
Lewisburg. I'm looking south of Greenville.
We can pull up your radar.
Yeah, if you don't mind. I'm sorry, yeah.
If you all are listening, there we go. Perfect. Thank you.
All right, there's a lot going on. So let's take a gander. All right, so the first one is what Mallory just showed you. To the southwest, one in Tennessee. And then there we go, right here. So this is that little notch. This is what we look for to issue these warnings. They're very difficult, but that's really good signs for a bad sign of a possible tornado just to the northwest of Clarksville. Okay, that's first one. Let's go up to the north. Now, this is the one that caught my eye right here, and I'm not sure where this is. Let's see. That's helpful. I have no towns. Okay, let's take it off. That is to the southwest of Greenville. This whole thing is moving off to the northeast. There's another one. Look at this area right here by Morgantown. There's a bunch of little areas that are spinning. I'm not know if there's enough instability to get it down to the surface, but this whole thing, you're gonna see more severe. Oh, a new severe thunderstorm warning. What a surprise.
Yes, near Tell City.
Yep, the big one, the parallelogram.
Yeah, so we've been getting a lot of these big chunks of severe thunderstorm warnings.
We predicted that 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, and basically we have a severe thunderstorm warning from Bedford down to just north of Hardinsburg.
Yep.
Now these are multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, but you get the gist. We're basically coloring in here the leading edge of the line due to 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So we'll continue to see, you know, we have the storms coming in kind of from the southwest with that front edge that's moving toward Litchfield. And then we also have the main event that's currently passing through Jasper and heading toward Bedford, Paoli, English, down to Tell City as well. It's moving right over Santa Claus, Indiana right now. So this is gusting 60 miles per hour. I don't think any of the warnings have been for more than that.
No, they're
Have
going
they been?
60.
Okay.
That's the normal protocol. They'll
Yes.
go 60.
I just didn't know if any of them was. So these are moving east at 50 miles per hour. They're trucking along, as we mentioned, pretty quickly.
No, they didn't tag any tornado, nothing on it, as
Okay.
expected. Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, and there's
And then
another one.
Bedford, there's a new one. Indy
I
went.
know. I just can't even keep up.
Yeah, you're going to see a bunch of these. So let's just
Yeah.
cut to the chase right now. We said you an hour ago, you're probably going to have a severe thunderstorm warnings over the area tonight. I don't think the tornado threat's very strong. And you're 50 to 60 mile an hour winds. And by golly,
That's exactly what we're seeing here.
Yeah, and we're gonna continue seeing this for the next few hours, probably.
yep. So let's look at the ones that really stand out. I think I'm looking to see when Owensboro there. I'm looking to see what the obs of if it came in. They should be gusting much more now. And of course, we got to go through security here. But momentarily, I'll have a wind. That's still the old one, 35 miles an hour. Right now, the line's moving off to the northeast, east-northeast. So, folks, Louisville, 1137. Radcliffe, Mount Washington, all around the 11:30 hour. Elizabethtown, Charlestown, the Knobs, Sellersburg, Clarksville. It's all coming. Believe me. Where is this thing? Believe me, it's coming.
Yeah. It just is taking its sweet time, as we keep mentioning. So, Louisville, we're going to get rain before we get the wind. Keep that in
Moving
mind.
right now, in fact.
So-
It's showing up on our cameras.
Right.
Yeah, our airport's going to gust somewhere between 40 and 50 miles an hour when it comes through.
Yeah, and then all the severe stuff that we're talking about is delayed from that rain that's moving in here. So keep that in mind. If you're like, they said 11:30 and it's raining. What we're looking at is that thin band that's currently moving through Bedford and Jasper.
Right,
So
exactly.
those are where your severe gusts are currently.
So let's look at the Louisville radar. Yeah, it's pretty much on target. So it looks like a lot of wind in there all along the line. It looks linear. See, there's no big rotational area of green and red. This is a classic transition. Winds in Santa Claus look a little strange. Santa may get blown over. It looks like winds in Santa Claus, 50, 60 miles an hour.
Batting
Not good
down
for
the roller
Mr.
coaster.
Mrs. Claus. That's moving off to the northeast. Let's see, we go further south, all string winds. I mean, I just don't see any tornado threat in any of this. Now, the one down to the south that has that we have a new tornado warning. Yep. They took it and angled it right against the Louisville area. That's the edge of Paducah and Louisville. They put it up in the far part, southwestern part there. So that's that same cell that came out of Tennessee. They saw the same thing we did.
The one heading toward Russellville?
Sort of, kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
And that's
So-
the county seat.
Yeah, when he says Paducah to Louisville, he's talking about the NWS offices. So this is not on Louisville's
you.
doorstep.
Sorry.
This is in southern Kentucky. No, you're fine. Just want to, give some context there. So this is still This is not in our viewing area. What we're watching down south, that's near the Tennessee border.
And they just put a giant severe out like we thought. The huge severe that goes out to the Bowling Green and goes up to Mammoth Cave now. They're not screwing around. Now they got severes. New severes are going up. Brand new one just came out. 3 of them just came out.
Yeah.
So Mallory will go through all of them for you.
I don't even know where one starts and the other ends, you know? It's
Oh, no, they all definitely bleed together
well-
at this point. They're warning the line. They're
Right.
warning the line,
yeah.
and this is what it has to be.
Everyone's 60. Bottom line, if you're on that line, you're going to have winds between 50 and 60 miles an hour and brief heavy rain. And I think the tornado threat is very low.
Yeah, which is what we like to hear.
Yeah.
So we'll be watching for any kind of notches and nubs. That's what we have to look at when we have these squall lines, notches and nubs. But I would say, you know, the lack of instability is helping us out today.
Yeah.
The lack of dew points that could have been a lot higher. If we had more fuel to work with, this would have been
If we had
a
gotten
different
warmer,
story.
if we had gotten higher dew points, we'd be
Yeah.
a bit less casual.
Telephone pole, trees down in Huntingburg. That's Du Bois County. That was a little bit ago. No surprise. And we've already had that gust to low 60 miles an hour in Evansville. So there's obviously trees down in the Evansville area. I just tell you, if you're in Louisville, if you're in West Point, Radcliffe, Hillview, Prospect, if you're in Charlestown, Henryville, Memphis, Galena, you're going to get 50, 60 mile an hour winds. Period. So.
And we're getting reports that that was a utility pole you
Yeah.
said was down in Huntingburg.
Yep.
That is the type of wind damage that we would be expecting out of this. So we're probably going to see an uptick in power outages
That one cell's got the
as the main line moves through Kentuckiana. Hopefully not. Right now, there hopefully isn't too many. I got to get close to the screen, and we're seeing. I don't see a number for a
I have
total.
1,200 on my screen
1,200 is not bad. That
in the
will
Louisville metro area.
that will likely be going up. And those 1,200, that's from the
That's from the wind today.
from the wind today, which also was anticipated. So
We'll be able to get some ground truth in the next 5 or 6 minutes. This thing's going to go through the Bloomington Airport, the Bedford Airport. Paoli has got one up there. French Lick's got one. I'm going to see what the Huntingburg just came through there. We'll have that in a moment. And I guarantee they saw wind gusts. That's why you went boom, boom, boom. All these
Right.
warnings went out. There was a wind gust that went over a magic number. I know how this goes.
Right. They get that ground truth. They get the confirmation. And
We better issue
It's-
like
yeah.
now.
and then you hit the big yellow button at the NWS.
So that's what's going on. And they did go considerable, tagged, or possible, that one in Logan County. The one, Russell County, Russellville is the county seat. That's way on the southwestern part of way out of our area, but that is a county seat, and they did get a tornado in December, just northwest side of town, December 21, and I'll never forget that.
so that's what we're looking at right here on your screen. So that's what John was talking about. That's the one tornado warning we have in the state right now, down at the Kentucky-Tennessee line there.
Yeah, there's why they issued right there, little curly Q. That's called a bookend vortice. If you go to your screen, same thing, right?
Can you see it? It's right over the radar.
Right there.
Oh, that
thing,
guy.
That
Yeah.
thing right there.
This guy,
Yeah,
right?
right there. You got it. Shebang.
Just a little piece of rotation that's enough to justify a tornado warning, and hopefully it will begin to weaken. But
That's
this
legit.
is what we've been looking for, and what we've thankfully avoided so far. Hopefully, we'll continue to do so.
So, folks, as you go further to the east, you don't have a warning right now for Bullitt, Jefferson, Hardin, Clark, Floyd, Scott, but believe me, it's coming to a theater near you. There will be warnings. I almost guarantee you're going to see a lot of warnings of up to 60 miles an hour as this continues to move east and getting closer and closer to the metro.
Yeah, so as we mentioned with this setup all along, damaging winds was the primary threat. Can't rule out, though, embedded tornadoes when we have these QLCSs, and that's why we always have to mention that. And we saw that today off to our west, but things have greatly
And there's two great guys
are
are on radar right now. I just saw the warnings, and back in the old days, I had to do it all myself in the old ways, and which was insane to try to issue this because there were so many little rotational, little swirly cues and nubs and tags and mergers, and they're just a pain in the rear end to deal with. Is they happen, like Austin was telling you, they happen so quickly, and there's all these little signatures we look for. Definitely the one that's down in Logan County is a legit thing. I hope it's not touching down here. You see a lot. Look at the wind surge in here, this whole thing.
Right.
Yeah. So up here, it's coming. More warnings. We told you 30, 40 minutes ago, Orange, Crawford, Perry would be out, and by golly, they are. Bedford, we told you that was going to happen. Louisville, Meade, Jefferson, Bullitt, Hardin, Clark, Floyd, Scott, they're all coming out. Believe me. The severes are continuing. It's all wind threat, extremely low tornado threat. Even though we're under a watch, I think the instability has weakened things, and we're gonna luck out overall on the wide scale.
Right. I mean, you can even see now. I think this is just, I don't know how this taps into this surface-based, but
If it's surface,
Cape, you know,
yeah, it's puny.
puny. So this is all forced by the front that we are tracking. That's going to drop our temperatures. I wonder where we're at right now. Let's take a look at some temperatures and dew points.
Yeah.
Just
We
to
were
see what
72
we're
last
working
time
with.
you showed me.
71 still.
Okay, yeah.
Evansville is down to 46.
This wind's so strong, it's keeping the temperature up. What's your wind right now at the airport?
Let's see. I can
Probably
pull up
still
a
gusting to
gust.
30, 35, I'm guessing.
Of course, this is probably just the latest. 30.
31, all right, there
Yeah.
you go. That's pretty good.
Jasper had a gust of 51. And dew points are still the same, 49 in Louisville. So,
No, and dropping.
So I think the next chess move from the Weather Service, I'm telling you, if you're in Grayson County, they're going to issue very soon. I can feel it. They're going to issue for Litchfield, east of Caneyville. If you're going further north into Breckenridge, that's east of Hardinsburg, that's Irvington, including Brandenburg, Fort Knox, West Point. They're going to be under severe before you know it. Let's go further north. That's Harrison, that's Corydon,
Jackson County.
Galena, PRP, and they're going to just keep moving eastbound and down, so to speak.
yep. So we'll continue to see warnings along this line. And then once that leading edge rolls through, your severe weather threat for the night is over. Then you just have to deal with the winter-like
There's
weather.
an S word tomorrow. What is that word?
Snow. Getting everything that March can offer, for sure, within a short period of time.
And Indy's going to have to issue very soon. That's almost out of the box. That's the one up by Bedford. That will, if you're in Jackson County, eastern Lawrence, Jackson, and Jennings, it's coming. You're going to have 50, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Whether or not they issue or not, I'm telling you, you're going to have 50, 60-mile-an-hour winds.
Brownstown over to Seymour, Freetown.
I-65, same thing. Travelers, 64, 65, not a good night to get on the highway.
No. Because if nothing else, very heavy rain and gusty winds.
That's exactly right. I don't want to be out in that.
No. And as we've been mentioning so far, we just have a slew of severe thunderstorm warnings on the map here.
A bevy of warnings.
Yeah, and these are all for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. So we'll continue to see that with the leading edge. That's what you're seeing painted here from Bedford down to Grayson County, down to Bowling Green, and then you're dealing with some reds along the Kentucky-Tennessee border. That is your tornado warning. That's out of our viewing area, but something that we're watching.
Take a look at that really quick.
So.
Yeah, that thing is legit. There's two areas that are rotating in that. And so, folks, if you know anyone down in Fort Campbell right now, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, over there in the south, Christian Todd counties, they may go into Logan County before you.
We have a tornado warning.
All right.
There you go.
So we need to get on to
That's that
television.
one right here. Okay.
Yep. If you could bring us up and let us know when we are on television, because we now have a tornado warning. It includes Litchfield,
Yeah, it's got a hook echo
E-Town.
right
It's
now.
got a hook echo.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just got a 1 second. Again, thank you for joining us on WHS11 Plus, but we now got to break into television for this tornado warning. Please stand by. Go to the wall. Mm-hmm. Mallory will be over there.
Our Chief Meteorologist Mallory Schnell cutting into coverage tonight due to this tornado warning that we do have issued for portions of the Kentuckiana viewing area. This was just issued by the National Weather Service. It's what you're seeing in the red polygon here. It does include areas like Caneyville, Litchfield, and Eastview heading into Hardin County. This is our first tornado warning of the night for the Kentuckiana viewing area. We have a line of severe thunderstorm warnings, and we will show you that in just a moment. But this is the most important warning and is what we are starting with. So this is until 10:45 Central Time, 11:45 Eastern Time. And once again, this includes Grayson County and also portions of southwestern Hardin County here. So I'm going to step off the screen so I can manipulate radar a little bit better. But areas that are included in this. So a severe thunderstorm warning capable of producing a tornado was located near Morgantown, moving northeast at 75 miles per hour. So a very quick moving storm. And it does look like this could be around Litchfield by 10:10 Central Time. If it continues onward to E-Town, it would be 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you do see yourself included in this polygon here, we do want you to seek shelter. Head to the lowest level of your home, whether that's a basement or just the lowest level of your home, away from windows. Get into that safe place. We mentioned that there was an isolated tornado threat this evening with this squall line that's rolling through Kentuckiana, and it does look like we do have enough rotation for this particular storm to trigger a tornado warning. So I'm going to give you a bigger picture view of what we're looking at here. You can see rain is moving into the Louisville metro area. We have the main line that's behind that. That's what you're seeing from Bedford, Paoli, down to English, Tell City as well, Hardinsburg. We have a slew of severe thunderstorm warnings. That's what you're seeing in the yellow here. But you'll notice, is this, guys, one big tornado warning that they have issued?
Yeah, it's a rather...
One large one.
Okay, so I'm joined alongside meteorologists Austin Evans and John Gordon, so you may hear them from time to time. But the area of rotation that we're seeing is right around Morgantown, and it's moving northeastward. So anytime we have a squall line like this, we are always looking for notches or nubs where the leading edge might be tapping into some kind of rotation. And even though we don't have a lot of fuel today, you will notice that this particular storm, we were watching it on our live stream. Looks like there's a lot of lightning with it. So it does have some fuel that it is tapping into. And John, do you have something?
Yeah, if you want to go to my computer, I can show you this right now.
If you all can bring up the ROI. Thank you. Okay,
so this has got a hook echo right now. The question is it getting down to the surface? This is coming in out of Butler County. The county seat is Morgantown. It's moving off. I'll draw a point. We'll look at this all together. Here it is right there. This thing's moving off to the northeast at 55 miles an hour, and it's going to continue to head towards Caneyville and Litchfield. It's rotating there. It's got a little bit of low-level rotation, but definitely it's got a good signature. Unfortunately, a bad signature for a tornado in there moving off to the northeast. I don't see a hail threat, and it's got a lot of wind. Even if you don't get a tornado, winds will be at least 60 miles an hour in there. Just want to give you an update.
Yes, thank you, John. So we can bring it back to Max 1, and we can give you all a play-by-play of what we're seeing across the area. So once again, Litchfield, you do have some time to get into your safe place because, as we mentioned, the area of rotation that we're seeing here is about to move into Morgantown, it looks like. So this will be in Litchfield. I believe the warning said around 10:10 Central Time, 11:10 Eastern Time. So that's what we're looking at for Litchfield. If that storm continues northeastward, tracking very quickly, They could make it into the E-Town area around 11:30 if it maintains that rotation. It does look like something was just filled in.
Yeah, they just issued another
Yeah, they did a
warning, filling it
second.
in to now include portions of Warren County, now Brownsville, all the way down to near Russellville.
Okay, so that looks like that's Hart County right there, heading into Munfordville.
Yeah, that would be Hart
okay.
County.
So that's really the Bowling Green metro area. So we'll focus a little bit more on the northern storm. Of course, if you have friends or family in Brownsville, in Munfordville, give them a heads up. But what we're looking at here is the storm that's right around Morgantown that will be heading into Grayson County and then continuing onward into Hardin County. So you might be in an area right now where you're not even hearing any wind or rain. They issued this downstream because of how progressive these storms are, how quickly they are moving. So we want everybody to get a good heads up that that particular storm has a bit of rotation on it. We also do have, as we mentioned, a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings along the line. So if you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, that means 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. You know, we're seeing that from Salem, Bedford, you were under one not too long ago, Paoli, English, down to Hardinsburg, over to Jasper as well along the leading edge. And we've been watching for any kind of little notches of rotation. And it does look like that particular one was showing a bit of a signature that we have to be better safe than sorry in case it does briefly touch the ground there.
Yeah,
So.
for most of the evening as the storms moved into Kentucky and southern Illinois, for most of the time we've been fairly tornado warning free. I was discussing some earlier during our 6:30 stream of our newscast, but this is kind of the first one that's popped up close to us and now in portions of Kentuckiana. It's one of those things. Hopefully it won't be all that long lasting, but we got to talk about it because a tornado could happen.
All right, so let's go through the tornado warnings. Tornado warning number one, that's coming out of Butler County. That's Morgantown, just to the northwest of Morgantown. It's moving off to the northeast at 60 miles an hour. If you notice, it's like a double hook echo. It's not just one. There's two little areas. I'm going to stop this thing. There's the first one. It's between Rochester Ferry on the Green River and Morgantown. The second one is this area that's coming out of the Greenville, Central City area. This is all moving off to the northeast. Eventually, that'll be up by northwest of Bowling Green to Brownsville. That's moving off the north. But let's start the north part and get the whole.
Let me interrupt you real quick. We got a new tornado warning for portions of Clark County and Washington County. If you want to bring it actually to this shot here, I have Max 3 behind me while Mallory is getting back to the wall. This is the latest tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service in Louisville. I'm going to put a query on it right now. So tornado warning until 11:45 Eastern time included for west central Clark County, southeastern Orange County, and central Washington County
there it is.
in southern Indiana. Moving east at 50 miles per hour, located 7 miles northwest of English. So this includes as well Smedley, Shorts Corner, South Boston, Livonia, Chambersburg, Bacon, Rosebud, Harristown, Mahon Crossing, and New Philadelphia. Again, this is in southern Indiana. A tornado warning until 11:45.
That signature is legit. That is approaching Hardinsburg. Of all the towns in the warning you just heard from Austin, Hardinsburg, over towards New Pekin. It's be on the southern side of this. It's got a little nub and a little notch there.
Right.
That warning's moving off to the east, but you can definitely see the rotational couplet right there. Hardinsburg, New Pekin is the greatest threat.
Yeah, so I have this pulled up now on my computer. This is the newest tornado warning that we do have in place. And you're seeing obviously the red box. So that is the tornado warning that we were just talking about. That's south of Paoli. This one is in effect until 11:45 Eastern time. So as John mentioned, this is heading toward Hardinsburg. So it does look like, let's see.
Of all the cells, that's the one that looks the most threatening right now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put radar back on this. And yep, there it is.
Yeah. Hardinsburg, Hardinsburg, Hardinsburg. This is your main threat. Hardinsburg to New Pekin is the greatest threat in that warning.
Get into your safe space now. As we said earlier, the lowest part of your dwelling, hopefully a basement, but if not, the most interior room you have, a closet, a bathroom. You want to put as many walls in between you and the outside as possible, and you want as little glass as possible in and around you.
I want to focus on the southern tornado warning, Mallory. The one Caneyville. Look at Caneyville. Caneyville has got a definite signature right there in town. That's moving towards Litchfield. If you're in Caneyville, get to your safe shelter right now. The rotation, if you is really the strongest right over Caneyville. It's almost got a little enclosure where there's two different cells surrounding it.
Right.
So
if you see
that right
area,
there?
Yep. So that's heading right toward Litchfield. Litchfield, you need to be in your safe place. You're probably getting the alerts. You should be getting the alerts that there is a tornado warning in effect for your area. So that is headed your direction. And this is what we're looking at when we have these lines of storms, primarily straight line wind damage. But if these storms along the leading edge are able to tap into any kind of rotation, this is what we have to be on the lookout for. And so that's why the National Weather Service has issued this tornado warning for Grayson County into portions of southwestern Hardin County, if that continues on that same line there until 11:45. And I can put the radar in motion. You can tell it's moving pretty quickly right there. A lot of lightning, so tapping into some of that fuel, and it has the potential to rotate and drop a tornado. So that's why we do have that warning in place.
Let's go through the tornado warnings. Let's start to the north and go to the south. First one up is Indiana. The storm is west of Hardinsburg. It's this area right to the west of Hardinsburg, maybe by 7 miles or so. That's moving off to the northeast. Once again, it'll be more on the southern part of that warning. Hardinsburg, New Pekin is the greatest threat. Let's go to the south. All these are severes in between for 60-mile-an-hour winds. So if you're in Leavenworth, Leopold, Hardinsburg, Kentucky, all 60-mile-an-hour winds. Let's go to the next warning. Caneyville, Caneyville, Caneyville. Please get to your shelter. Litchfield, if you're on the BG Parkway, the Western Kentucky Parkway, that is a concern. Make sure if you don't need to drive between Litchfield and Caneyville, don't. Stop at your local fast food and take a quick break. Going further to the south, we are going to look at the other new tornado warning. That's much further south. That will get into Hart County eventually. That's going to go through Brownstown, Mammoth National Park, and it will get in there. Everything else is straight line winds. I still think most of this is straight line winds of 60 miles an hour. But there's 3 different areas. The most concerning one, I continue to look at that one that's west of Hardinsburg, Indiana. Hardinsburg, Indiana, that storm is definitely showing some little rotation.
Yes, so our warnings for our particular viewing area, if you're seeing us on your TV, portions of Orange County into Washington County, Indiana, and then also for portions of Grayson County into southwestern Hardin County. Hart County, you all are kind of on the line there, but there is a tornado warning. That's that southern edge that we're looking at. So we're all included in a tornado watch until 3 a.m. I'm sure you saw the alerts from earlier today, and you've been seeing the crawl on the bottom of the screen. That is for the entire Kentuckiana viewing area until 3 o'clock this morning. But once we get the leading edge off to the east, that is when your tornado threat will drop. So if we can take max 1 once again, that's what I'm kind of looking at here. We have rain currently in the Louisville metro area, and the leading edge of the storms has been off to the west, really stretching from Paoli down to English and also down to areas like Tell City and off to the west of Hardinsburg, Litchfield, and then we're watching those few tornado warnings down to the south. So
Gust of 68 at the Butler County Mesonet. That's associated with that storm that's heading by Caneyville. So
okay,
it's
so
legit.
this one right here.
Yep.
So this is what John is talking about. 68-mile-per-hour wind gust was confirmed there, and you can see that rotation near Caneyville. That's wanting to wrap itself up even a little bit more as it's going to pass right around Litchfield potentially just north of there, it looks like.
We are very, very fortunate we are not warmer or more moisture because the velocities are not as strong as you see on the reflectivity. You probably saw that on there. They're not as strong. But that thing is a concerning cell. It's now northwest of Litchfield by about 4 or 5 miles.
Yes.
That storm is going to go just to the north side of the the Western Kentucky Parkway. North side of Litchfield. If you hear our voice, please seek your safe shelter. The time is now.
Yes, so that's what I've zoomed in here right now. That red background that you're seeing, that's your tornado warning in place, and then you can tell the radar reflectivity on the left side of your screen. So that's what's headed in that direction and why you are hearing potentially tornado sirens or why your alerts went off. So we have this warning in place until 11:45 Eastern Time or 10:45 Central Time, heading on the north side of Litchfield, probably will continue onward toward Eastview into southwestern Hardin County. And then that cell that's beneath it, the warning that's beneath it, I should say, actually, that could move into portions of Hart County. That's until 10:45 Central Time. That's just outside of our viewing area, but want to make sure folks are informed there. And then we still, yes, do have this one warning that's up in southern Indiana for Orange and Washington counties. Yeah, so this one goes until, I believe, also 11:45 Eastern Time.
Yeah, so on the cell that Mallory is just talking about in southern Indiana, you can still see there's a little bit of rotation, green towards the radar, red away from the radar. It's just going to be on the northwest side of Hardinsburg between Stampers Creek and Hardinsburg, moving off to the northeast. That's the first one. We go down to the south, tornado warning number 2. That one really shows a strong reflectivity signature, something you would see in Oklahoma, but the velocities for the most part are maintaining themselves. That would be right up on Caneyville area, moving towards Litchfield. If you're in Litchfield, northwest side of that. The one to the south, to me, is weakening a tad. That's east of Louisville to the northwest of Bowling Green. I'm not saying not to do anything, but of the three, that is definitely the weakest of the three. The one to the west-northwest of Litchfield is definitely, Mallory, the one that really curly-Q there.
Yes, yeah. So once again, we have a few tornado warnings in place. The rest of us are looking at severe thunderstorm warnings right now due to wind gusts around 60 miles per hour. So you'll have a brief period of heavy rain, gusty winds. These storms, they're moving very quickly. So whether you're under a tornado warning or under a severe thunderstorm warning, the length of the most severe part of the storm should be pretty quickly. So once again, for anybody just hopping on, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mallory Schnell with WHAS 11 News. Joined alongside, you're hearing John Gordon and also meteorologist Austin Evans in the studio with me tonight. And you'll notice the leading edge of these storms that are moving from west to east. So we have a few tornado warnings in place. We've been watching that cell, that storm with the curly-Q that John was mentioning, the hook on it near Litchfield heading into southwestern Hardin County. That warning's in place until 10:45 Central Time. And then we also have this additional tornado warning that's just south of Paoli heading into Washington County. So from Orange to Washington County, that one is also in place until 11:45 Eastern Time. So if you are included in a tornado warning at any point tonight, we want to make sure you seek shelter, you head to your safe place until it passes. All of us included in a tornado warning until 3 o'clock in the morning, though we're expecting that to be chipped away once this leading edge moves out of your viewing area. So this will continue to march west to east, slightly northeastward in motion. And these storms are moving very quickly, 50, 60 plus miles per hour, their actual movement. So they're not sticking in one place all too long. And I'm going to move back over to just take a look at the radar here and give you all a better visual of what we're seeing rather than just the warning. So sometimes it helps to take the radar off so you get a better idea of what we're looking at, but we can take you one by one into these storms. So the northernmost one, once again, we are watching this storm. I believe it was north of Hardinsburg with the little nub. It's always the nubs that we're looking at.
Let me just go through the radar real quick.
Where we have any kind of rotation, that will continue to march eastward into Washington County here, where we have that tornado warning until 11:45, and then down to the south you can see what we're looking at here. So this has been the area that we've been watching near Caneyville, heading toward Litchfield for the southernmost warning here. So John, you can take it away if you'd like.
Top to the bottom. So if you're up in Lawrence, Jennings, and Jackson, you're going to have 50-mile-an-hour straight line winds. The one tornado warning that's southeast of Paoli. There's a nub. There's that little green couplet. It's just northwest of Hardinsburg. It's moving off to the east. The Weather Service just commented they've been watching that. At the moment, it's a tad weaker, just a tad. That's going to split between Salem and New Pekin. Now we go. Now, all these are severes in between, okay? So Louisville, you're going to be under severe. 50, 60-mile-an-hour winds. So I don't care which county.
Probably here in a few minutes.
That new Clark County warning, you want to mention that real quick?
Yeah, a severe thunderstorm warning got issued for Clark County. Just the western tip of Clark County and the county just immediately to the south, which would be Floyd County. So that's a new severe thunderstorm warning.
Right.
It's just to the south of that cell that is warned for a tornado warning. So we're keeping an eye on this general area in general.
In that new severe, which I would have done the same thing, you always put it up against the Louisville Metro, and that's what they did. They went severe 60. That covers areas just to the west. That's Harrison, that's Lanesville, Corydon, down to Brandenburg. That covers Irvington. And then there's that tornado warning. I just want to look at that and turn it back to Mallory. That curlicue is almost out of their box. So they're watching that cell right there. It's to the northwest by about 7 miles, north of the Western Kentucky Parkway. And thank goodness the velocity of the winds do not show what the curlicue shows.
Right. So as John is mentioning, sometimes these radar images can look a little bit scarier than actually what they're seeing with the winds reaching the surface. So that's some good news. But this is what he's mentioning here. If you can see the rotation, looks like it's north of Litchfield now. That's what we're looking at. So they're going to have to make a decision if they want to issue anything to the northeast there.
And we'll be anticipating that, whether or not they make that decision, probably within in a matter of a few minutes from now. And it's a good thing this week we've been talking a whole lot about tornado sirens across Kentuckiana. Have a couple stories on it. Please don't rely on that. Do not rely on that. That's for outdoors. We want you to have a way to get notified via your phone or the television, if you still have power, or a weather radio.
Yeah, so as far as anticipation, they will be going severes all across southern Indiana. So I-65, that whole area, Henryville, Charlestown, down to Louisville, we'll be getting a severe, trust me. Pleasure Ridge, Shively, Fairview, you're all going to get a severe. Bullitt County, you'll be getting a severe. Mount Washington, all along 65, Shepherdsville, Lebanon Junction, Radcliffe, Fort Knox, you'll be getting a severe. The one that we're really watching is on the edge of the tornado box, literally there, Mallory.
Yeah.
The curlicue that's northwest of Litchfield.
Yes. So waiting for confirmation. It looks like they went severe, as we just mentioned.
And that is a big one.
Yes.
Yeah, I would do the same thing.
So they went severe farther northeast with this, if you all can see on my screen. So this was the storm that we were watching that was north of Litchfield, and this is going to continue to move northeastward and moving into Hardin County up near Radcliffe, Hodgenville included in this. It looks like it's in far southern Bullitt County as well until midnight. So at the very least, we're expecting wind gusts around 60 miles per hour. And this is moving northeast. The warning says it's moving northeast at 85 miles per hour, guys. That is a very quick moving storm.
Yep, sure is.
The gusts within the storm are around 60 miles per hour, but the storm itself is moving so quickly. So you can oftentimes get that when these big warnings in place, when storms are moving so quickly and they just need to warn a general area. That's what you're seeing with that extended severe thunderstorm warning in the gold that even heads into portions of Nelson County and also southern Bullitt County as well.
It's going to arrive fast. Storms don't have to go around the bends and stop at intersections. It's going to arrive on your doorstep pretty quickly. You're going to notice a very quick uptick in the wind noise outside, the heavy rain as well.
So some good indications. Let's go start north to south.
Orange County was cut off from the...
Yeah, that one's definitely been weaker.
Yes.
So let's start north to south. All right, we got lots of severes. We're going to focus on the 3 tornado warnings. The first one, Indiana. It does not look like it did 10, 15 minutes ago. It has become more linear, green against red, just pushing from the west to the east. That looks like a wind threat to me. I'm not saying it's over, but right now the threat is much more minimal if you're in New Pekin, Salem, Livonia, Hardinsburg. All right, let's go southbound. The curly Q is right on the edge of the warning north of Litchfield, moving off to the northeast at 55, 60 miles an hour. The velocity has never really corresponded with that, which in other words, there's not the gate-to-gate red to green in there. And then the one to the south is more of a wind threat to me. That's the Brownsville one, even though they got a tornado warning out, that looks like some wind. You actually see the wind pushing towards, that's the giant Mammoth Cave National Park. And that will eventually get up into Hart County, our viewing area, Bonneville, Munfordville, all the western part of Hart County there, Mallory.
Yep. So we've been watching 3 separate tornado warnings since we've hopped on air here, in addition to all of the severe thunderstorm warnings that were to be expected with wind gusts 60 plus miles per hour due to the leading edge of this storm system that's rolling through. We have a very potent cold front that's cutting through the region tonight. It's going to drop our temperatures from the 70s down to the 20s and 30s tomorrow. I mean, just take a big picture view of this. This storm system stretches from the Great Lakes all the way down to the Gulf Coast there. And on the backside, you're seeing snow. And so expect the return to winter tomorrow. But that gives you an idea of just how strong the forcing is with this system. Even though we're lacking certain ingredients, like we talk about CAPE, we just didn't have, a great amount of fuel to work with for the storms today. But when you have the wind energy that we're seeing and the forcing that we're seeing, we still have to watch for these areas of rotation in case these storms are able to drop a tornado. So big picture view in terms of the warnings. You'll notice Louisville, we've been talking about the arrival of these severe storms around 11:30, and obviously on our doorstep with warnings just off to our west and also off to our south due to the southernmost edge that's moving to the northeast there. But expect heavy rainfall, gusty winds, wind gusts around 60 miles per hour as these severe thunderstorms roll through here this evening.
Yeah, so let's go from north to south. In my opinion, the warning in southern Indiana is more straight line winds right now. I would believe they're going to issue a severe further east after that warning gets just a hair east-southeast of Salem. Let's go further to the south. Let's go to tornado warning number 2. That one is a bit of a problem for the Weather Service because the main area of concern is right on the edge of the warning. So they've got to do something with that. It is not showing it on the velocity. It is definitely showing us thunder. I would not want to drive under that or fly through that. That is north of Litchfield, north of the Parkway. It's almost on Hardin County. It's on the Hardin County, Grayson County line. It's where the 3 counties meet, Ohio, Grayson, and Hardin. Number 3 is a straight line wind threat. I think that threat is mainly 60-mile-an-hour winds. They did have a gust of 68 miles an hour at the Kentucky Mesonet in Morgantown.
I believe they just extended it.
Extended which one?
Yeah, they're extending the tornado warnings downstream, now
The
including
northern
Radcliffe, Fort
Okay.
Knox, Eastview.
The Curly Q one, right?
Let's go ahead and consider E-Town in this as well. It's right on the edge. If you're in northern E-Town, you're under this tornado
that's
warning.
the Curly Q one.
Lebanon
Yes.
Junction, so they just extended these now until midnight.
It was
looks
outside the box, that one right there. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been watching the northern edge of that system,
Got
or
out of
of
the
that
box.
particular storm. As John was mentioning earlier, it basically got out of the warning box, and so they had to make a decision of whether or not to extend that or make it a severe thunderstorm warning. They created that big wedge of the severe thunderstorm warning, and now we have an extended tornado warning until midnight. So this storm, it's north of Litchfield at this point. It's heading now more so off to the northeast around 50 miles per hour. Certain locations that are included, Lebanon Junction, does look like Radcliffe is in this, just south of Fort Knox, Eastview, if you hear yourself there. And as we mentioned, this looks like it'll be just on the edge of E-Town, so kind of the the northern portion of E-Town there. So this is currently moving toward the northeast at 50 miles per hour, and they just issued this tornado warning
the one
until midnight.
of all the warnings, the tornado warnings, that is the one to really absolutely pay attention to. That is the one that's gonna. Oh, it's just that curly Q is moving to near Hudson, moving off to north. Rhineyville comes to mind, Mallory. All that area. It's definitely got a rotational area where it's kind of ingesting. It's almost like what we call a mesovortex, where wind's coming in and out one area. That's right over Hudson, and that's moving off to the northeast in Rhineyville. That's the one that got out of that warning on the north side of Litchfield. So the main threat is going to be up towards E-Town, Radcliffe, right in that area as that storm moves off to the northeast.
And we're starting to get into areas where it's a little more populated. We're approaching the I-65 corridor at this point. Of course, Hardin County, very large and very populated, especially in certain spots. So they're going to take that into consideration as well. The tornado, the area of concern, the area of circulation left the tornado warning box. It didn't really necessarily weaken, maybe a little bit, but not to the extent that they had to get rid of the warning in general. They had to issue a brand new one. They went ahead and issued it pretty far downstream and for a pretty long amount of time, again, until midnight Eastern, 11 p.m. Central. So this is a rather long-winded warning, a longer one than you would expect for a QLCS type setup like that.
Yeah, so southern Indiana, that wind it's a wind threat. Even though there's a tornado warning, that's all wind threat. I don't think there's a tornado.
And you anticipate that being canceled?
I think they'll let it go, expire. That one will either go probably to a severe. Then we go down, we just talked about that second one. Once again, that's near Hudson, moving up there towards Rhineyville, Vine Grove, and those kind of places. The number 3 to me is once again a wind threat, and it's moving off to the northeast. Litchfield again, south of there, Brownsville. It's all in moving towards Hart County. That's a major wind threat, 60, 65 mile an hour winds right now. Definite tornado threat heading towards Hardin County there, Mallory.
Yes. All right, so I'm going to kind of start from the top and give you all an overview of what we're looking at, because I'm sure you got the alerts earlier that we are under a tornado watch until 3 o'clock, all of the Kentuckiana viewing area. And what we're seeing here is a strong line of thunderstorms that's moving from west to east, slightly northeastward, due to the forcing of a very strong cold front. So as we mentioned, temperatures today, mid to upper 70s in the Louisville metro area. Tomorrow, most of the day will be in the 20s and 30s. So even though fuel was a bit lacking today, we have had enough forcing for severe thunderstorm warnings along much of this line, and also some embedded tornado warnings, where we're tapping into some of that rotation. So we are seeing some shower activity right around the Louisville metro area, but the leading edge of the severe winds, you're kind of seeing where that narrow band is, stretching from Seymour down to Salem, English down to Hardinsburg, and then we were actually getting some storms that were coming in from the southwest here. So John has been mentioning we were watching this tornado warning that was in portions of Orange County over to Washington County, and then also the one that was in Grayson County that was moving toward southwestern Hardin County, but moved out of the tornado warning box and is now nudging a bit farther to the north there. So we were mentioning areas that were included like Vine Grove as well. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer so we can see that. You'll notice that we also have our camera that's pointing toward downtown Louisville. Right now, Louisville, we are not included in any warnings.
Can I give you a report?
The storm that we're most concerned about? Sure.
Okay, so Emergency Management in Grayson County reports a tornado touchdown at 5800 block of Beaver Dam Road. Has been taken out of a barn. So roof of a barn. Well, there's damage at least.
Yeah, the roof of a barn appears to have been blown off.
5800 Beaver Dam Road in Grayson County.
All right, thank you for that. And this is the tornado warning that we're watching from that storm. So this is until midnight, and it does include areas like Radcliffe. This is just to the south of Fort Knox, to the north of E-Town as well. Lebanon Junction, you're included in this warning polygon here. Rhineyville, Vine Grove, we mentioned. Cecilia also included in that. So let me see where it is on the radar here once we zoom in. So we're looking at that little kink right there, it looks like. So this is, you'll notice I'll draw a circle of what we're looking at. We're looking at this heading in the direction of areas like Rhineyville. I know that's the place that we keep pointing out, but in that general direction, that's where this is headed. Also toward Lebanon Junction if it holds together like this.
Now you're seeing rain out ahead of it, so that's going to make things more complicated for us getting storm reports and any sort of confirmation if anything had touched down. The storm now has a history of putting at least one tornado on the ground and causing damage. The problem is you probably won't be able to see that happen in the moment because there's rain out ahead of it, and then there's a lot of rain associated with it. So you're not going to be able to really see any sort of tornado that's trying to touch down until it's right on top of you. So don't be trying to go out and look for anything right now. There's too many hills and trees in the state of Kentucky to be trying to storm chase, but really it's about your safety. Go to your safe space right now if you're under that tornado warning polygon. The storm has caused damage.
So that storm moving, it's out east of Hudson. It's going to be moving along Highway 401 and Highway 86 towards Veertrees. That's going to head up towards Rhineyville, all along 920, 1357. Up there on 220, I mean to Rhineyville. Right now, that continues to show rotation. I've been talking about curlicue. It's basically wind coming from the backside, rotating, wrapping around the front side, and you get this inverted little S thing. Show the S picture there if you want, Mallory. That is definitely showing where the worst wind is. Vine Grove, Rhineyville, in that area, definitely under a tornado threat.
Yeah, and I put a tracker on some of these areas like Four Corners. That'll be on your doorstep in a couple of minutes. Vine Grove, 1141. Radcliffe, 1144 in that general area there. Lebanon Junction, still about a half hour away, but you're likely hearing the sirens there if you're close enough to hear a siren, or your alerts are going off because you are included in this tornado warning polygon until midnight Eastern
They're
time.
likely to drop the warning in southern Indiana, as we've been mentioning. Salem, even though you're going to get winds 50, 60 miles an hour, I don't believe there's a tornado threat there at all. If you go to the bottom one, the one that's going in towards Hart County, Brownsville, Mammoth Cave, I believe that is a wind threat as well, even though they have a tornado warning out. The main show is the one that's moving into Hardin County that's going to be affecting Vine Grove and Rhineyville and Radcliffe. That's a very populated area. This storm bears watching as it tracks off to the northeast at quite a good pace.
If you're in Shepherdsville, Mount Washington, Hillview, maybe even Fairdale, be paying attention to this storm. Maybe be making some preparations. Get the cat or dog carriers, the crates out, maybe the leashes. Be preparing your tornado safe space just in case. You're not under warning right now. Again, Mount Washington, Shepherdsville, Fairdale, Hillview. You're not under any sort of warning right now, but there is a tornado warned storm pretty much pointed in your direction. So be making those preparations now for when, if a tornado warning is issued, you can go straight into that safe space. You can bring us with you via the WHAS11 app on your phone or tablet, and we can continue to give you coverage while you take
So southern Indiana, let's go from there. Louisville, it's going to be here and on your doorsteps in between now and midnight. It's coming in fast. Charlestown, Floyd's Knob, Sellersburg, you're going to have straight line winds, 50, 60 miles an hour. They just put a new tour out. There we go. Yep, that's the same one. Okay, that's the one with the rotation that's moving up towards Radcliffe with a little S signature. It continues to wrap up, and it actually has a little bit of a velocity signature on that new scan there, Mallory.
Yeah.
You can see that little burst. Radcliffe. Vine Grove, Radcliffe. Get to your safe shelter now. This is the time, right now.
Yeah, so we're looking at all these curlicues where we're seeing rotation, signs of rotation along the leading edge of the storm there. So in terms of the 3 tornado warnings that are in effect for southern portions of our viewing area, you're seeing that one that we're really focused on, which is right around, let's see, where is that heading toward? Radcliffe, Vine Grove.
right on top of Four Corners right now.
Right on top of Four Corners. As we mentioned, it was going to be on your doorstep in just a few minutes. So this is what we're looking at right here. Four Corners, south of Blue Spring, heading toward Rhineyville, Vine Grove, Longview, Radcliffe. We need all of you all to be in your safe place while we're dealing with this tornado warning in place.
Yeah, and Vine Grove, folks, it's very populated there. Please have a plan of action. We're definitely starting to see more rotation on the velocity. We've been seeing a lot on the reflectivity for the last hour and a half, it seems like. Lebanon Junction, this includes you, Radcliffe, Fort Knox, at the Patton Museum. Right now, this area, I think the greatest threat right now of seeing a tornado is approaching Vine Grove and Radcliffe, right in that area right there, as it moves off to the northeast at about 55, 60 miles an hour. The metro, they have not issued a severe yet, but it's coming. It's coming very, very soon as this storm moves off to the northeast.
Yeah, so let's take a big picture view of what we're looking at here. Sometimes, you know, we're looking at so many things at once that it can get a little bit cluttered, but you'll notice these storms moving west to east. That is the direction here, and we're watching the leading edge for not only severe thunderstorm warnings, as we've been seeing with the leading gusts, 60 miles per hour, but also these embedded tornado warnings. Have they mentioned anything about dropping the Salem storm?
They've been talking. They said next scan or two. I think, as far as I'm concerned, it's almost dead.
Right. So we've been watching. Obviously, you probably got the alert if you live in Orange County, Washington County, for the tornado warning. That included Salem. That's still included, but as John has been mentioning, we've been really watching these storms that are down in Hardin County. So zooming in to what we're looking at here with this current tornado warning that's in effect until midnight. This is for this curlicue that we keep talking about. That's your rotation.
It's hard to call it a hook echo because it's not hooking, and we don't want
air coming. You can draw it back. It comes from the back side. It wraps up and in and comes into this little cell. And that little cell where it's completely wrapped around, almost wrapped around, is that area where there's rotation. You see it on the velocity. The warning to the south is mainly straight winds, and I guess they've cut some of it. I think there's really, in my opinion, there's one main storm to watch, and that is the storm approaching Hardin County, Radcliffe, Vine Grove, Fort Knox, and all those other towns.
Yeah, so that's what you're seeing on your screen right there. This northern edge, because even though all these red boxes that we're seeing are tornado warnings, so you're probably getting the alerts, hearing the sirens, we're most concerned with that northernmost place. Obviously, better to stay safe rather than sorry. If you get a tornado warning, head to your safe place.
Yes.
That is what you do in this season of severe weather. Wait for that to pass. Salem, you're in the clear for the tornado warning.
They've gotten
Looks
rid
like
of it.
there's just a severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, the one in the north's
place.
gone, like we thought.
So we were mentioning that we had this polygon here. I was waiting for that to get dropped. So Salem, you're in the clear. You're still dealing with probably 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, but does look like that is just now a severe thunderstorm warning in place. So the one that we're watching, everybody that's included in this northernmost
That's the storm.
tornado warning, this is the one that we're paying attention to. So Rhineyville, Vine Grove, Radcliffe, eventually Lebanon Junction as well within the next 20, 25 minutes or so. This storm is moving toward the northeast around 50, 55 miles per hour, I believe.
And this storm, now that we've gotten confirmation out of Grayson County, at least this storm or one close to it, caused some pretty significant damage to a barn in Grayson County, according to their emergency management. So this is a storm with a destructive history to it, which is why they've issued this tornado warning pretty far out for this type of setup. And I wouldn't be surprised if it got another one downstream. We have to wait for that. It's got to move a little bit through its current warning before we see that. But it's a real mess still to look at, still rotating though.
Yes. So get in your safe place, lowest level of your home, away from windows, and wait for this to pass. Once the leading edge of these storms do pass, your severe weather threat is over for the night, but we have to wait until this leading edge does pass here. So watching for any kind of notches and nubs that we typically see when we have these kind of squall line setups. It can be very difficult. They form very quickly, they move very quickly, and so that's why the National Weather Service has to be on it as they're analyzing radar and pushing these out farther in advance to give you an appropriate heads up.
In both ways, it's sort of a double-edged sword. These types of tornado situations don't typically last as long, aren't typically as powerful, but they're harder to find.
Yes.
The discrete ones, very easy to find on radar, but also tend to be the most dangerous.
So these are You're looking for the notches, the nubs, any kind of areas of rotation. Once again, in terms of the severe thunderstorm watch, this is in place until 3 a.m. It'll be chipped away as time goes on tonight. Big picture view of the radar here. Anytime you're seeing you can tell where that thin band is of the oranges, reds. We had basically two lines kind of merge. So we had the main line that we've been watching since it was in Missouri tonight merge with the line where storms showed up kind of to the southwest and are merging together. And it's more so the southwest line that's giving us more of an issue. We had that that tornado warning, for Orange and Washington counties earlier, and now we're still watching this particular one that's moving into portions of Hardin County, and eventually it looks like Bullitt County.
Just saw a lot of lightning on the webcam there.
Yes, so we also have our webcam that's for Louisville. Louisville, we're not currently under anything, but be on the heads up that we're expecting at the very least 60-mile-per-hour wind gust heading into our
So let's go north to south. So Lawrence, Jennings, Jackson's, you got your severes up there, the whole Seymour thing. Then we go further south. There's going to be a warning. I don't care if they don't have a warning yet or not. That's going to cover Scott, Clark, Floyd, Scott, Jefferson, all those areas. Louisville, down into the north part of Bullitt. Then there's this one tornado warning that, let me draw something. We can all see this. This area right in here is rotating, moving off to the northeast. That's the one that gets my attention. Radcliffe, definitely get your safe shelter. The one to the south, I feel they're going to drop that warning and go severe thunder. In fact, they have a giant severe off to the east that covers almost to Bardstown. And the one further south, that thing's going to go. There ain't going to be no warning down there. That's dead. As far as I'm concerned, there's one main tornado warning. That's the one that's really watching right now.
Yeah, and that's the one that we're watching right around Rhineyville, Vine Grove, Radcliffe.
Yeah, that's the one, the storm of interest.
Yes, so this northernmost one, I know sometimes when I put the radar and the warning box on top of each other, it can be a lot of colors, but you're looking at this red box in place. Rhineyville, Vine Grove, Radcliffe over to Lebanon Junction, south of Fort Knox as well. So we're going to keep watching this with you until these warnings expire. Midnight.
That warning, is it midnight?
The northernmost one? Yes,
Yep.
Okay.
midnight.
That's the main storm right now. And it's going to get out of the box before midnight. They're going to have to do something soon.
Right.
That won't even make it. It will make 10 minutes maybe.
Is it still moving at, what, 80 miles? Okay, 60
This
miles
says
an hour.
60.
I think it's a 60. 55 to 60 seems legit. Now, if that maintains itself, let's anticipate. That means Shepherdsville, south side of Shepherdsville. That means Mount Washington, maybe the farthest southeast corner of Louisville, Simpsonville. By the way, Louisville, that line's going to be in Louisville in about 20 minutes, so right at midnight. Right at midnight, your line at the airport, if you're at the Louisville International Airport, you're going to get gusts 50 to 60 miles an hour.
Yep.
But that storm by Radcliffe, I think Mount Washington is something I would definitely be getting to my shelter. There is no warning yet, but that's the one area. And that will get into the edge between Jefferson and Spencer County, and then maybe into Shelby County if it continues right now. But the velocity signature, look to just a hair southwest of Radcliffe. You definitely got a 60, 70 mile an hour wind surge at least.
Yep. So that's what we're watching there. I'm going to put a track on this actually. So this is moving.
What do they got?
60.
Yeah, 55 to 60, somewhere in there.
In this general direction.
They're going to drop these warnings down here. They'll be dropped.
Right.
soon.
So if this continues onward, Shepherdsville would be 1156. Mount Washington, 1006. Looks like we do have a new warning.
Where are we going?
The southern edge, actually.
Which one?
Yeah, now including Bardstown, portions of northern Marion County, Hodgenville under this now.
Okay.
So let's take a look at this new warning that was just issued.
Loretto, just north of Raywick.
Yeah, Nelson County included in this. Portions still of Hardin County as well. Let's see what they put in the text. 8 miles west of E-Town, moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. Areas included Boundary Oak, Booker, Bellwood, Glendale, Nelsonville, Bourbon Springs, Priceville, and Bardstown, obviously.
Yeah, it's a big surge of wind. There's a couple little irregularities on the line, especially the one near Upton, I guess if I looked anywhere, I'd go between, that's on 65, that's the 81, 84 mile markers. Sonora, Upton, go to the truck stop, have a cup of coffee, and wait till it passes. Elizabethtown, those are all good indications of 60, 65 mile an hour straight line winds. And the one area of rotation that kind of stands out is definitely between Sonora and Upton. See it right there? Yeah, kind of a little curly Q there. That's the one. Now, meanwhile, the one to the north, boy, it's on the edge of the box again. Near Fort Knox. Between Fort Knox and Radcliffe, it's still inside the box. That's good. They fanned it out enough. But Shepherdsville, one of my places I love to go. Shepherdsville, please seek your shelter. Have a plan of action. Fort Knox to Shepherdsville, definitely a threat in that area.
It looks like they did go ahead and issue a severe thunderstorm warning. That's why all of our phones are going off.
Yeah, my phone's going off.
Severe thunderstorm warning with the tag
What a surprise.
80 mile per hour winds.
Oh, they went 80?
Yep.
Yeah, they must have got a report. I'm looking in the chat. Did they get? Yeah, they just went issuing destructive toward possible Jefferson. Yeah, okay.
All right, it's still a ways out. We don't have that for Louisville proper. We still have a ways away before we see that leading edge.
They're giving you a little heads on. It's approaching. I remember the western part of the county. It's approaching. Before you know it, it'll be in Valley Station. And the part of that Jefferson County sticks way out there by West Point. Yeah, they're seeing some winds in here. Let me look at the Tidware. Take a look.
Yeah, so you probably got it on your phone. We just got it on our phones. If you live within the yellow box that you're seeing of the Louisville metro area, Jefferson County, a severe thunderstorm warning, they went destructive on it, which just means that it can have more powerful than base severe thunderstorm warning gusts. And also, as we mentioned, we're watching those little nubs, those areas of rotation down to the south, where you're dealing with some wraparound.
On the terminal Doppler, that's the radar we use at the FAA radar in Mount Washington. It shows up better, actually. Between Brandenburg and Corydon, you're seeing 70+ mile an hour winds in there, and that's why they went the 80 mile per hour winds. That's going to be in Pleasure. All those places you can track it in there, but right in yonder, there's your boat. Yep.
So what you're looking at here, this is velocity. It shows you not only wind speed, but also wind direction. We could use it for severe thunderstorm warnings where we're just expecting, at the very least, very strong winds. We can also use it for potential rotation anytime there's a tornado threat. So you look at greens and reds to be moving in different directions, and that can be a sign of rotation. But that's why they went ahead and issued that destructive tag, quote, on the severe thunderstorm warning that we're looking at. Also looks like there's a lot of velocity down near Radcliffe. I believe that's with the tornado warned storm that we're seeing. So make sure you're in your safe place, guys.
Please be in your safe room if you're in Radcliffe. I love going to the Patton Museum. Definitely right on Fort Knox, the new scan came in. Right there, there she blows. Right there. Fort Knox, folks. I'm sure the sirens are blowing on Fort Knox right now. Right there, east, right on Fort Knox, maybe a hair on the east side. The thing's so big anyway. But Shepherdsville, you're next.
Yep.
So they're going to have to issue a warning for Shepherdsville, Mount Washington. It may be a tornado warning. It could go in the farthest eastern part of Jefferson County. We'll see how they draw this, but be prepared. That means you in Spencer County. That means you north of Taylorsville for the next warning right here. They do have the tornado warning to the south. There's a bunch of little odd areas down by east of Sonora, east of 65, Hodgenville by the Lincoln Boyhood Home, and New Haven, all in there. Winds 70 mile an hour winds. There is a threat of an isolated tornado in there. Southern Indiana, it's all straight line winds. They're going to have to move that box too. You're not under a warning right now in Henryville. You need to be. Charlestown, Sellersburg, Lexington, Indiana, Goshen, Prospect. You're going to be under severe before you know it. In the next 5 minutes, I would assume they're going to put out a new severe thunderstorm warning for you.
And if y'all want to really quickly take Max 3, they have extended the tornado watch until 5 o'clock. Eastern Daylight Time.
5Z or
5 a.m. Eastern.
Probably because they just shifted everything east.
Watch, everything's moving east with the system, and they may be anticipating that the severe threat is possibly going to go on a little bit longer. Watch now also including, I can't remember if it was including Lexington and whatnot, but it is now, along with just our eastern, the counties that border the eastern edge of Kentuckiana. So the entirety of Kentuckiana, barring a few counties in portions of southern Indiana, that's Perry County, I think that's Jackson, that's Jackson, Bedford. Now not under the tornado watch. The leading edge has left you. So those areas, the severe threat's over, but we still have a pretty significant severe threat going forward. And as the line of storms continues to move through, hopefully it doesn't slow down, but it could. So we're going to continue to at least monitor the current storms going through. We could start to see counties get lobbed off this watch pretty quickly as the leading edge moves through. But for now, most of Kentuckiana under a tornado watch until 5 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time.
Yeah, if you're west of this red line, it's over.
Yeah,
it's
so
over.
If we want to take up Max 1 again, I know we're calling a lot of different computers, so I appreciate our producers behind the scenes helping us out. Once we do get this leading edge, this line out of here, once you're out of there, you know, you are out of the severe threat. So right now that's approaching I-65, really both in Indiana and in Kentucky. Once that passes you, if you're on the backside of it, you're done with the severe weather threat for the night, and you can go to bed. But for those of you all who are just now joining us, looks like we have another severe thunderstorm warning. They're starting to fill in the gaps here.
So if you're in English, you're in Paoli, you're in Tell City, you're in Jasper, you're in Patoka Lake, it's over. Go to bed.
You can go to bed.
It's over. Over.
But let's focus back in on these tornado warnings. You probably heard the sirens go off. We've been talking about these same tornado warnings that are in effect until midnight. Now, something else that can be noted is if you are in Vine Grove, Rhineyville, the leading edge of this is now past you. So it's heading toward Lebanon Junction.
It might not sound like it,
right?
But it has.
Yeah, in terms of the wind and tornado threat.
Yeah.
Now, Shepherdsville, you want to be on the lookout here if this continues onward. Mount Washington, that particular area. And we have this other tornado warning in place, this bigger box on the southern edge that includes Hodgenville, New Haven, Loretto, up to most of Nelson County, and including Bardstown there and Bloomfield as well. But have you seen any additional signs down in that southern edge?
Yeah, let's go to that. Let's take a look at that again. So the main threat is just a little bit northeast of Fort Knox. So I'm trying to get a little town. It's between Shepherdsville. Fort Knox is so large, it's probably on the installation. Shepherdsville, there's definitely an indication where there's rotation right on the leading edge of the line. Right on the leading edge of the line, about, I would say, 5 miles from the actual post, the commissary PX. Shepherdsville, you're under the threat. The warning to the south, yes, there's a tornado warning. It looks like straight line winds of 70-mile-an-hour winds to me. And they just issued that new severe that you heard from Mallory. Southern Indiana, I don't care where you are. Anywhere 65 eastbound, you're going to be under a warning as this moves off to the east. That also means you in Shelby County, Simpsonville. If you're in Spencer County, you're going to be under severe as this thing moves off to the east. But once this line, which lasts about 6 minutes, 7 minutes, it's over.
I mean, we've been talking about how quickly the system's rolling through here. A lot of the warnings have
been
movement at 50, 60 plus miles per hour. You know, you're getting close to interstate speeds. So that's the good news, bad news about these kind of tornado warnings is they're quick. The National Weather Service has to make a decision of whether or not they're seeing any kind of rotation and issue these downstream. But whatever you're seeing, whether it be very strong winds or the potential for rotation, the good news is it should be up and over you quite quickly.
Shepherdsville, please seek your shelter. Seek your shelter if you're in Shepherdsville.
While we're approaching a bit of a reset, was told that we're starting to see numbers climb on the outage map for LG&E, and if you could take that full so I can just go look at it. I want to look at some of the numbers, but it wouldn't surprise me at all. We have some very strong wind moving in, now up to 2,738 power outages, customers without power, I should say, in the Louisville metro area. The leading edge of the storm hasn't quite hit the Louisville metro yet, but it is about to within probably the next it just updated.
It's on our doorstep.
Within probably the next 10 minutes, it's going to be in the Louisville metro, and it's going to start getting really loud really quickly.
Okay, so let's go to the southern tornado warning briefly. Hodgenville, LaRue County. LaRue County, there's rotation. It's right on top. Abraham Lincoln Square there in Hodgenville. There's an area that definitely watches little things. So if you're in Hodgenville on 210, going over towards New Haven and Loretto, there's an area there you need to seek your shake shelter if you're between Hodgenville and New Haven. Let's go to the north one. The north one, the area, and it's almost out of the box. They've got to do something, and I know how it is. It's amazing how quick it gets out of your box, your tornado warning. That would be just to the west of Shepherdsville. That's moving off to the east. I don't know what they're going to do. I can't read it because it's getting so close to the radar, and that's going to be heading off to Mount Washington. No matter what, 70-mile-an-hour winds are on the table. North, I don't see a tornado threat at all in southern Indiana, and they're just going to extend these severes. Eventually, they'll get up into your area, Scott, Jefferson, over to Oldham, Trimble, Henry, Shelby, Spencer. And they've got to make a decision. Like, that thing is almost out of the box. And then let me see. Let me check the chat. They did not update it at all. So they're like, what are we going to do?
Yeah, and you'll notice where the warnings are currently kind of straddling both sides of 65.
Yeah.
If you're west of those boxes, you're good.
They're busy. They got to clear the counties.
If you're east, there's still more to come.
There is no threat, zero threat if you're west of this red line. It's over. So Hardensburg, Leopold, Leavenworth, English, Birdseye, Paoli, Salem, it's over.
Yeah. So we're always looking for that leading edge that can bring damaging wind gusts, our primary threat today. But as we mentioned time and time again, we get these kind of squall line setups where we can get embedded notches of rotation. And that's exactly what we're seeing tonight with these tornado warnings that have been going off. So
if you noticed in all the days leading up to this, and we were anticipating this severe threat for probably a week ahead of it, we were never saying that there was no tornado threat. We were saying it was low end. We were saying it was isolated. And this is still that. It's just the situation that we've been dealt.
Trying to get some reports here. The one that does stand out to me, there's definitely something. There's a circulation just on the northeast side of Hodgenville, right on the northeast side of Hodgenville. That's moving off towards New Haven. Please seek your safe shelter if you're between New Haven and Hodgenville. The one on the north side, it's almost out of their box. So I don't know what they're doing here. My sense is they're going to continue the severe. We'll see. Momentarily, they've got to make a decision.
And they had issued a downstream severe.
They've already got the severe.
A few minutes ago.
So they got to decide what to do on that. North side's all straight line winds, 60-mile-an-hour winds. You're in Austin. You're on I-65 going down to Memphis, Charlestown, down there towards the river. That's all going to be straight line winds in there. I'll be curious to see what Bowman Field carries and SDF carries as this moves into the city. They still got that destructive warning for those real strong winds, Mallory.
Yeah, so this is now just moving into the Louisville metro area, the severe thunderstorm warning that likely triggered the wireless emergency alert on your phone because it had the destructive tag on it, which means you can have wind gusts up to 80 miles per hour. That's why they issue that, because it's a considerable threat. Even though it's not a tornado warning, 80-mile-per-hour winds can do as much damage as a tornado.
The most storm damage a dwelling that I lived in ever took in my life was from a destructive tag, severe thunderstorm.
Okay, we got some reports here. So a bunch of trees down on Kentucky 86 in Hardin County. Let's see, Grayson County, 9 trees down, 3 power lines down, a couple of power lines down on fire, 4,300 people without power in Grayson County. They're still surveying the other fire chiefs. So typical straight line winds that you would get with a line of this magnitude so far.
All right. And typically, a lot of times when we have these nighttime events, we get more damage reports in the next day.
Imagine that.
We want folks at home to stay inside, stay in your
Please
safe
don't
place.
go
Don't
outside.
try to go outside and see the storms or see the damage until the threat does pass and things are safe
And
to
they
do so.
decided-
It's not necessarily the wind, it's what the wind
Yeah,
carries.
they've let that one's going to go.
Oh, we got video. Where's this video out of?
This is Jasper from earlier
Okay.
today.
So that warning that we've been very concerned about, the northern tornado warning, it's almost out of the box. So they have not indicated what they're going to do at the Weather Service. And I'm just saying, we got a roof reported off a house in Pierce Mill Road area in Hardin County. So there is a roof out. And I'm waiting to see what they're going to do with that northern warning. The one on the southern warning, I'll hit that really quick here again. It's accelerating. It's definitely got some strong winds. There is a very isolated tornado threat there between Hodgenville and New Haven.
So this is for the warning that you're seeing there on the bottom of your screen until 12:30 a.m. Eastern time. This northern one, we mentioned that storm is basically out of there, and honestly, we're almost to midnight anyway. So we'll have to see if they continue to issue that storm downstream for the rest of Bullitt County. That's moving towards Shepherdsville. At the very least, we have strong winds that are moving through much of the area along the leading edge of this storm, as we've been mentioning, kind of hugging the I-65 corridor. The farther north that you go, the more northeast that's heading. So this is currently northeast of Indianapolis. But
Yeah, and the new scan, boy, the winds showed up there. So that is interesting. So now here's a indication of some really strong winds.
They just issued a downstream severe thunderstorm warning on the northernmost.
Thank you. But right now, look at this, Mallory. If you're in Bullitt County on the south side of Louisville, that's 80-mile-an-hour wind stuff. So if you go between Fairdale, Shepherdsville, where else? Help me out here. East of
Hillview?
Lebanon Junction, down to New Haven. That is a good indication, or a bad indication, as I should say. Look at these wind channels. Oh, yeah, right there. Look at these wind channels. Can you go to my, you got my screen up good. Right there.
the bright reds or pinks
That
you're
those
seeing.
pinks on velocity, not good. West Point, that's going to go to Hillview, Hebron Estates, Shepherdsville. This is a really strong indication of very strong winds. Lebanon Junction, New Haven, West Point, very south part of Louisville down there, Okolona southbound. 70, 80-mile-an-hour winds. Actually, you can see another surge here up there by New Albany in the northwest side of Louisville. If you're up there along I-64, very strong wind indications right now. The power outage map will be going up.
Yes. So anytime you're seeing these bright pinks right there, as you mentioned, New Albany, Portland, also pretty much right on the radar, though. These are all very strong wind gusts. So even if you're not under a tornado warning and you're, quote, only under a severe thunderstorm, yes, we want you to take these seriously because very strong winds can lead to just as bad of damage as a low-wind tornado threat. So make sure you are inside, you're away from windows, you're allowing the leading edge of this storm system to pass you. And then once it does, you're in the clear. We're looking at just lingering rain on the backside. So if you're in Salem, Palmyra, Corydon, Brandenburg, Litchfield, Hardinsburg, English, Paoli, Bedford, you can go to bed. Those of us that are right around the I-65 corridor and areas off to the east, still watching this leading edge of the storm system roll through here, we still have to watch it for a little bit longer for severe wind gusts and the potential for any kind of rotation.
And they're going to have to move that severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, I don't care if they don't have one or not. If you're in Linden, if you're in Goshen, if you're in Prospect, if you're in Crestwood, you're in Buckner, you're in Pee Wee Valley. We're looking at very strong winds accelerating. Right now, it looks like all across our, even though we have one tornado warning, I think the entire area is a straight line wind threat right now. And the wind is the main show. Folks, that is not pleasant to be on I-65 by Lebanon Junction right now. We're looking at 70 to 80-mile-an-hour winds. We're going to have a lot of trees, power lines down. As this thing's plowing eastbound towards Mount Washington, Taylorsville, Bloomfield. It's heading to you in Shelbyville. Very, very strong winds. Look at those channels, those wind channels on northern side of Bullitt County there.
Yeah, so what you're looking at here, this is once again, the velocity on the radar, velocity, wind speed, and direction. And all you need to know is when you're seeing the brighter colors, the pink on this, that's what we're talking about in terms of those strong wind gusts. So we've been mentioning this threat this week with damaging winds being the primary threat, but we've been under that enhanced risk. So a higher threat and a higher range of wind gusts.
Yeah, I'll be surprised they issue any more tornado warnings. I think they're going to go severes all the way over east. This may be the last one that's going. That's all linear right now. There's no rotational couplet on that line. But boy, is there some wind.
Yeah. So if you're just in the Louisville metro area, you're waking up, you're hearing the wind. Chief Meteorologist Mallory Schnell alongside meteorologist Austin Evans and John Gordon here.
If you want to take that camera full, you can see how much it's moving around. How
you got any webcams?
Oh, yeah, you're seeing it above our heads right here.
Yeah, we got some very strong winds in the metro right now. Let's look at this, see if we can get the airport, Austin. Can you try to get the OBS out of the airport?
Yeah.
And Bowman. There are very, very strong winds. Folks, if you're in the Louisville metro, you're in Fairdale, you're in Valley Station, you're in Okolona, Fern Creek, Highview, you're going to be getting winds imminently. 70+ mile-per-hour winds, 80-mile-an-hour winds, very strong winds. Also, it shows up in southern Indiana. Clarksville, Clarksville, Oak Park, Sellersburg, New Albany, it's pushing through right this moment, and it won't last long. This is in and out.
Yeah, so that's the good news. If the wind is howling, still a good idea to get in your safe place, even if you're not under a tornado warning, because as we mentioned, these kind of winds can do just as much damage as a low-wind tornado. And I'm sure it sounds quite scary as well if you're dealing with 70 to 80 mile-per-hour wind gusts. So please be safe. Please make sure you're still indoors and in your safe place until you can really even just see it on the radar reflectivity. The angrier looking parts of this storm system, the reds that are kind of trying to bow and move. And once that's clear, you're in the clear.
Look at those cameras.
Yeah, so that is our Jeffersonville camera, I believe. It's hard to tell. That typically overlooks downtown Louisville and the 2nd Street Bridge. There are folks right now on the 2nd Street Bridge. That, I'm sure, is scary to drive under with the kind of torrential rainfall and the very gusty winds that are rolling through here.
So right at midnight, it looks like we got, or at least the TAF is putting a 45-knot wind gust.
We need the winds. I'm looking at Clark County Airport, see what they got.
I'm on Bowman Field. I'm on the same website, but I have no idea how to read it.
So these severe thunderstorm warnings, I'll take you the big picture view here. So what we're looking at here, obviously a severe thunderstorm warning for the Louisville metro area. That's what you're seeing anytime you have the yellows or golds. This is now until 12:15. Looks like it has 70 mile-per-hour wind gusts now on it for portions of central Jefferson, northwestern Bullitt, north central Hardin counties. And then this one tornado warning that we've been looking at, it's a big polygon. Obviously, they've chopped off the western edge of it. So now it basically looks like a Nelson County storm. This one they still have in place until 12:30. So let's take a look at the radar and see if there's any kind of...
It's right on top of SDF. We should get a wind very soon, very soon. They gusted 36 just before the line from the south, but they'll be getting a west wind very soon. It will be strong.
Yeah, so the one tornado warning we still have in place, New Haven, Bardstown, Loretto. But as John mentioned, this is really becoming a linear wind event. Doesn't mean that it can't do damage. We're still expecting power outages. We're still expecting tree damage, especially after things were so windy. LG&E is reporting now more than 5,000 customers without power.
Power flashes from downtown camera in Louisville. Power flashes from our wind on Hazmat Cam. 64 mile-per-hour wind at downtown at MetroSafe. 70 mile-an-hour wind. Gust downfall at 4th and Ali. Just reported 71 mile-an-hour winds in downtown Louisville. Power outs in Glendale. Power's out in Upton. We have a report of a roof blown off a house on the Hardin-Breckenridge-Grayson line. That was the one with the tornado warning. Everyone has reported the house okay. Very strong winds. Folks, if you're in Louisville, if you're in the metro, we are expecting 70 mile-an-hour winds all through the county. Newburgh, J-Town, Middletown, Anchorage, St. Matthews, anywhere in the county. And they're going to keep moving this east, even if you're not under warning, which they need to move that warning. Further up there towards Newcastle and Oldham County, that little area that's not covered. You are going to be under, assume you're under a warning right now.
Right. So this is all marching. Oh, we have a new tornado warning.
Oh, they did go tour on
That one
That's
was
that
just-
cell out of Shepherdsville.
So this is the same cell that we were watching
Yeah,
near
there it
Fort
is
Knox.
again.
Spun back up.
They keep issuing
So Mount Washington, Simpsonville, Shelbyville, Christiansburg, just north of Taylorsville.
it. What'd they put in the warning?
Let's take a look at it.
See what
So this one was just issued. Bear with us just a moment.
Yeah, that's this one right here.
A severe thunderstorm warning capable of producing a tornado 7 miles east of Pioneer Village, moving northeast at 65 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's that one right there.
This will be near Shelbyville by 12:20. Other areas included Smithville.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the radar here.
Yeah, that's the one that it actually looks like it's more on the east side of Shelbyville when it comes up. Yeah, it's that little nub right there. Yep.
This guy.
Yep.
So this was the same storm that we were watching near Fort Knox. Yes. They didn't decide to extend the warning. We left it with just a severe thunderstorm warning, and now we're watching it south of Mount Washington
Yeah.
for the potential for rotation. I
Yeah.
will say,
Look at the wind in this area.
yeah, I
Jeez.
mean,
That's 80-mile-an-hour winds just on the south side of Mount Washington right now.
Yeah, I'm not seeing much, and I'm not seeing a great rotational signature, but I am seeing the pushing wind speeds that are brightening up near Mount
winds are-
Washington.
Winds are definitely getting your attention. Okay, so let's go north to south. We've got giant severes that cover on the central Indiana. We go down, we got a severe Charlestown, down to Utica on the East End Bridge, Sellersburg, New Albany, Louisville's under the warning. We'll get to the tornado warning right now as that area pushes off to the north and northeast. There's a little nub right in there that they're watching. They have to watch as that goes from Mount Washington over on the south side of Shelbyville. Then we have that other tornado warning that's all along that line, but that is really linear. There it looks very west to east to me. I mean, if anything, there's a little area just to watch on the north side of Bardstown, right in here. See that okay, on the radar right here on the north side of Nelson, that one right there. Yep,
That
you
little
got that one?
nub,
You got
yep.
it?
So what John's talking about is this area right here
Yep, that
between
one.
Bardstown and Bourbon
Yep.
Springs.
And then we go to the north. I see what they're looking at. They're looking at this signature right here. It's like two signatures right in there, right? That one and that one.
Okay, so two little areas.
Yeah, two little areas, but most of it is very strong straight line winds. Very powerful. That looks 70, 80-mile winds. There's power outage map's going to go nuts.
Right.
I was told a few minutes ago that the power outage map is starting to light up.
I'm
Right.
sure it is.
And we're getting told that there are some sirens going off in Jefferson County because of the being clipped by this tornado warning that's down near Mount Washington.
Yeah, that's right.
5,068 customers without power, according to that. So that's up about 3,000 from when we last checked. And again, a reminder: don't rely on tornado sirens for your tornado warning system.
Yeah, the tornado warning for the Louisville Metro is the far, far southeastern county. Like, what is that area down there?
Route Fairmont.
By Turkey Run Park.
Fairmount, my bad.
Way in the corner, way southeast. Metro, right in the downtown, not a threat.
You'll see how I have it on the map here. So yellow, severe thunderstorm warning, probably still howling winds, heavy rainfall, frequent
We can
lightning.
see it on that camera right there.
Yes, and then the southeastern edge of that is where your tornado warning is that you're seeing right there in the red.
Yeah, yeah.
So that continues onward to kind of the Shelbyville area.
And good news for folks in from Fort Knox west, it's over. It's all over.
And they have they've removed a couple of counties from the tornado watch area. Jackson County got removed, but they're focusing on the stuff that's happening right now rather than removing counties from a watch. But yeah, if you're on the western side of the leading edge, you're in the clear for the night, and you can go get some nice rain sleep.
Did he mention why they issued this?
Yeah, really west of I-65.
Yeah.
So I've circled that area here. Anytime we have a major severe thunderstorm threat or tornado threat along a line segment, we're paying attention to the leading edge. So as we mentioned, once that leading edge goes through your area, if you're west of that, you are in the clear, you're going to be dealing with some showers, some gusty winds, dropping temperatures as well. but the tornado threat, the severe threat, has ended for you. So if you are under a tornado warning, this is when we say head into your safe place. Make sure you're in the lowest level of your home, away from windows, and wait it out until this storm has passed you by. So we still have this particular box in effect. This goes from Mount Washington up to Shelbyville there until 12:30. If you're hearing the sirens in Louisville, this is really only for the far southeastern edge of the county, of Jefferson County. Most of Jefferson County included in a severe thunderstorm warning. So be aware of that. Otherwise, as
Is this still tagged destructive? The severe,
they knocked it back down to 70 miles per hour.
So what I want to really point out is on this line, so if you go from J-Town all the way down just west of Taylorsville, that's 70-mile-an-hour winds. Those pinks are 70 every time. Pink is not good on radar. It always shows very strong velocities, very strong wind. You just got those reports in downtown. That is 70-mile-an-hour winds. I know they have a tornado warning out. To me, everything looks west to east. It looks very straight, linear right now. I know what they're watching. I still think the primary threat is very strong, damaging winds, 70-mile-an-hour winds, all from J-Town down to, oh gosh, Bardstown, east of Bardstown. That is the real show right here. That line, it only lasts a few minutes and it's done.
It's racing east. We keep getting reports from some of our managers and producers that sirens are going off around different parts of Louisville. I'm not sure if they're just warning for the 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts.
Any part of the county goes off, a lot of them set them off.
Yeah.
It depends on the policy.
So the tornado warning is for the far southeastern edge, but as we mentioned, we're talking 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, even with the only severe thunderstorm warnings. I know people tend to handle those differently, but these are still destructive winds that are heading through the Louisville metro area at this time.
We still recommend you being in an interior room, even if you're not in a
70-mile-an-hour winds are not good.
In an interior room, away from windows, because again, it's not the wind that's the dangerous part. It's what the wind can carry and what the wind can break. So I wouldn't be near any windows, any doors right now if you're under the severe thunderstorm warnings. Obviously, if you're under a tornado warning, you need to get to your safe space, the most interior room, preferably a basement.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take you all through this radar for just a moment, talk about what we have in place. Obviously, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in place from Madison, Bedford, LaGrange.
The giant severe. I was just going to say, they finally issued up in here.
This giant one that you're seeing right here until 1 a.m. For 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. In the Louisville metro area, we were talking about 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So expect some very damaging winds. Another severe thunderstorm warning downstream.
Huge one way down to the south, even further south. Look at this thing.
I mean, this is what we get along kind of these leading edges. And part of the reason is because these storms are just moving so quickly. So they just had to warn it out ahead of time for a big chunk.
Very strong straight line winds all along this line.
Yep. So in terms of the tornado warning, this is now past Mount Washington. Looking at these really notches, I should say. We can actually hear the wind here in downtown and some of that rain here. So
watch that power outage map. It's just going to go nuts.
Yeah, it's going to continue to increase. So Shelbyville, you're under this tornado warning until 12:30, I believe. Simpsonville as well until 12:30. Looks like it's just to the north of Taylorsville.
Yeah, I'm still watching it. I'm not diminishing it. I plan for 70-mile-an-hour winds and perhaps an isolated tornado. I don't see the strong threat. I do see, when you see the velocity really tight, incredibly next to nothing. Look at that new severe they just put out. I was just about to say, they got to go severe way east, and they did, Mallory. It's almost to Lexington. This is so strong and so tight against there. That's wind pushing incredibly fast in from the west-southwest to the north-northeast. This is a wind threat, a very strong wind threat. This is 70, perhaps 75, 80-mile-an-hour winds. That's what this is. I know they have a tornado warning out. Well, right now, the main threat is wind.
All right, thank you. Yes, so let's talk about who's in the clear right now, because that's just as important, right? So if you are west of this line, so I'd say west of 65 in general, Shively, Valley Station, New Albany, Sellersburg, Henryville, all the way down to E-Town, you're good. Litchfield, Hardinsburg, Brandenburg, English, Jasper, Paoli, you're in the clear. You're dealing with some lingering showers. It's still going to be gusty into tomorrow. Temperatures are plummeting behind this cold front, but the severe threat, it is racing so quickly to the east.
I want to look at temperature.
73-mile-per-hour wind in Mount Washington. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of 70 to 75-mile-per-hour wind gusts.
It's a wind event.
With this event. So whether you're seeing a tornado warning right now or wind due to severe thunderstorm warning in place, we're still expecting some damage across the area. Power outages, tree damage, potentially roof damage, unfortunately, depending on where you are.
I've got the temperatures pulled up. We're already dropping like a stone in Jasper, down to 45 degrees already. 54 in Palmyra, 65 here in Louisville, and I bet that's about to be about 10 degrees cooler. 56 in Bardstown, 55 in E-Town, but still up near 70 in Campbellsville right now. Lebanon, 68 degrees. Shelbyville, 68 degrees, but that's going to change imminently as well.
So you'll notice how quickly these, even if you're just looking at the colors, how quickly these polygons are racing east, northeastward. That's how fast these storms are moving. So not only are the winds within the storms moving quickly, the actual movement of the storms 60 miles per hour.
That tornado warning on the south side, that's the Bardstown warning. I believe that will be gone in the next 3 minutes. That will be out of here, the little odd, narrow one.
They haven't extended it downstream, which tells me that.
I don't think they're going to do it. They probably put the severe out. I don't think they'll put a tor out. The north one, they need to trim a little bit on the backside, keep the severe up. That's still 70-mile-an-hour winds. And notice it's a rear inflow jet. You're getting a wide area of wind pushing into, now going to Spencer County. That will go into Shelby County. Shelby County, I-64, you're going to have winds 70-mile-an-hours on there. It's not going to be pretty. Especially in that construction zone, which I went through yesterday.
Yeah.
So not pretty. Look at that wide area, Mallory. Showing that.
Yeah. Do you all see the pinks?
Pink. Pink looks good on many people, not me. But
Fern
anyway,
Creek,
it's not good on radar.
Fisherville, moving down to Taylorsville, so moving out of Mount Washington. If you are in the Mount Washington area, it's out of Shepherdsville. But if I put this into motion, this is just an hour loop. This is how quickly that's moved.
Yeah.
So.
Moving fast.
That's why we have these big severe thunderstorm warning polygons.
They have to warn so far downstream because of how quickly these things are moving.
They're not screwing around with it.
And you'll also notice how portions of the Louisville Metro have already been chipped away from a severe thunderstorm warning.
Good. It needed to.
Yeah. So if you live along
downtown, we're done.
Yep. Downtown Louisville, 65 west.
We can now see out the camera.
Buchel, Okolona, Germantown, Audubon Park, Shively, Iroquois, PRP, Valley Station. This is all now east, northeast of you.
Yeah. Once again, I'm just telling you, I don't see a tornado threat, even though we have a tornado warning. Okay. This is a wind threat. But I mean, 80-mile-an-hour winds.
You need to take seriously.
Take seriously. I'd seek my shelter.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. So
that's why they started issuing the considerable, the destructive, because I mean the straight line wind can be just as damaging, if not worse, than a low end tornado. In fact, it would be worse than a low end tornado.
If we had more fuel, it would not be good.
Right. Yeah. So we had a lot of wind energy today. We had a lot of forcing. Obviously, we keep talking about this very massive, strong cold front that's diving through the country here. We were lacking a bit of the fuel, the high dew points that we normally have ahead of severe weather. But sometimes if you're lacking in one area, just strong enough of the other ingredients can still cause severe weather, and that's exactly what we're seeing tonight.
Exactly. Now, there is one little interesting area, and it's not under a tornado warning, and that is just on the north side of Bloomfield. There's see a little curly Q there? Right north of Bloomfield.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
That one right there. That would be just one.
Taylorsville Lake.
Yeah, just kind of look at right there, just watching it. It's just a little interesting. And as it moves off to the northeast, just a little one. Everything's moving off to the east very fastly. They just put that new severe out. That covers folks, Mercer, Washington, Marion counties. That covers just the north side of Lebanon, Williamsburg, where they have the covered bridge, and Lawrenceburg, and up to Shelbyville. Frankfort, state capital. Enjoyed a day there yesterday. Anyway, the whole thing is moving off to the east. And like Mallory said, if you're west of 65, it's over. Go to bed.
Yep.
Go to bed. It's over.
Yes. Yeah, so we're just watching this leading edge that kind of snakes a little bit. It's not one fine line. It's Madison over to Frankfurt and then down.
Yeah.
So still waiting for that to kind of clear. Yeah. And then once you're on the backside of that, you can go to bed. So
look at these straight line winds in there. Shelbyville. So let's hit that right now. We want to do a little track. So if you're in Shelbyville, I'm telling you, the wind is a-coming. It is coming by the Cardinal Club there off 64 to Shelbyville. You're going to have winds 70, 75 miles an hour. My massage therapist is in Shelbyville. 70, 75 mile an hour winds. Not good.
Yeah.
As this thing's moving off to the east, not good at all. At Taylorsville, you're getting a bunch of wind right now. Mount Washington, it's at the very end of it. You got another minute or two, and it's over. It's almost completely out of the metro. Linden a little bit, Barramede, Crestwood, Anchorage, and Middletown. The very end of it, it's almost out of here.
And it's something that I'm noticing. It's warned for, they've got a tornado warning on it. You're talking about a wind threat. I'm having trouble finding the rotation couplet.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But I'm not having trouble finding the wind.
Yeah,
right. The wind is definitely there.
You can draw that big area, the pink. Where you see pink, 70 plus, period, on your favorite weather app.
Yep. I'm refreshing LG&E.
How much did that
Still
go up?
5,000 without power.
They're always delayed, it seems like.
Hasn't really changed.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they go tornado past this one. I think this is going to be severes, big severes.
Yeah. So the one remaining tornado warning that we have is this particular one that's over Simpsonville, heading towards Shelbyville and Christiansburg until 12:30. But as we mentioned, this has really been primarily a straight line wind threat.
We may be out of tornado warnings in the next few minutes.
And we're seeing a lot of these kind of big polygons in the orange due to the severe thunderstorm warnings.
And the one they're going to have to issue is if they don't issue again past Shelbyville, they'll have to cover that northeast part, all parts of Henry, the rest of Franklin, and
this general area.
Exactly, you got it.
Yeah.
And if you're in Maud or Booker, Kentucky, it might just be outside of the viewing area, but still. Some pretty strong wind is on the way. It's that real small tornado warning that's still in effect for a little bit in portions of Nelson County and eastward. You got some really strong wind on the way. Not seeing any rotation really, but definitely some dangerous wind. Again, 70 miles per hour or more.
I just want to give an update on the tornado watch. As we were mentioning, west of I-65, the threat is ended for you. It's beginning to wrap up here in the Louisville metro area, and you'll notice the National Weather Service is staying on top of it and chipping away those counties. So this is what we typically see, even when you see that a tornado watch is in effect until whatever time, you'll always see things being chipped away, especially with the line that we have.
Bardstown had a gust of 63, by the way. So we've seen 73 in Mount Washington, 71 in downtown Sec, 63 in Bardstown, and 68 in Morgantown.
So definitely severe wind gusts.
Yeah, and what are they going to do? I think.
And they just dropped a new warning, severe warning for Henry County, Shelby County.
That was that area that we were talking about.
Now Adair County and Greene County under a severe thunderstorm warning.
Which one?
Adair County and Greene County.
Yeah, that's the southern one. They need to. Yeah.
And portions of Taylor County.
Yeah, I don't think they're going. I don't believe there'll be a new tornado warning past Shelby County. I believe this will be a severe to clean up the last part of our area. Then it goes over to the Wilmington, Ohio office, the next office. They'll be issuing it. That's their fun.
We're still waiting for this.
We like to say tag, you're it. It's the next office.
Yeah. So this is moving very quickly. Anywhere where you're seeing the orange or yellow color, that's a severe thunderstorm warning due to wind gusts up to 70, 75 miles per hour.
And what's happened on the southern tornado warning is I guarantee it's already out of the box. They can't expire it in the last 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
They can't.
Oh, that's good to know.
Even though you want to, you're pleading, please go away, but it won't until the software does.
Okay.
So that thing's dead.
Yeah, that's already past Bardstown. For those who are in Bardstown that are staying up.
It's a terrible feeling.
Remind me to ask you why after we're
There's
done
a lot of
here.
software things I don't understand. So the Shelbyville one, folks in Shelbyville, I'm telling you, I love Shelbyville. 70 mile an hour winds. It's coming in right now. have a plan of action. Get to
You
your
see all
safe
those
shelter.
It's a widespread area too. This isn't just
There's
a
that
little
pink.
line
Look at that
of
pink area.
a little line of strong wind. It's a
Yeah.
pretty large area.
Yeah, I know they have a tornado warning, but I'm planning 80-mile-an-hour straight line winds, and that's not good.
Be in your safe space if you're in Shelbyville right now.
Yeah. Otherwise, Louisville,
And temperature in Louisville, how much has it dropped in the last few minutes? I bet you see a
I
nasty
don't know
plunge.
if I have an update.
Can you pull that up, Austin?
60, that was the latest.
Yeah, that's 12 degrees in a span of.
Yeah, but we are now in the clear
We're
here
done.
in Louisville. So if you're in the Louisville area watching us, go to bed.
Doug Prophet, if you're watching, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over, Doug.
We just have some lingering rain.
You can let go.
Some gusty winds and some cooler air that's going to move in behind. What we're paying attention to is this leading edge here that you're seeing from Madison. It'll be moving into Franklin County here soon, Frankfort, and then down into Greene and Taylor counties. And so if you are really to the west of this, you are in the clear.
And we got a 40, just to update on temperatures, 43 degrees in Paoli, 45 in Jasper,
They were
54
68 a few
Palmyra,
minutes ago.
60 in Louisville. So
don't
yeah,
doubt it.
we're cooling down fast. We knew that was coming.
So the terminal Doppler is showing 74 miles an hour right now in Shelbyville on the ground. 74 miles an hour. Please have a plan of action, Shelbyville. This is serious stuff.
Honestly, it might have been a good call going tornado warning, just so people
Exactly.
heed the warning. Go in
Absolutely.
your safe place.
Absolutely.
Because
It's just one of those. It's one of those things
Yeah.
that this is the safer option, even if it's not technically accurate
And they
to
did.
the definition.
There's the rest of it. It's covered. Basically our whole viewing, almost our whole viewing area is covered.
yeah,
Maybe just not the far southeast, but 70-mile-an-hour winds, basically east of 65. The tornado warning, I think Shelbyville, you can expect 70 to 80-mile winds. There are going to be power outages. Folks there, please have a plan of action. That's also heading towards our state capital in Frankfort, Eminence, Newcastle, Henry County, Campbellsburg, all in that area. Very strong winds. Lawrenceburg, it's coming your way. Willisburg, Springfield, the county seat, all those counties to the east. It's moving your way.
yes, yes. So we're waiting for this leading edge to continue, and you'll notice they keep issuing downstream severe thunderstorm warnings to give people a heads up that, hey, there are some damaging winds headed your direction. And I mean, this has raced very quickly through our viewing area.
Yeah, and
just
based on
within the
them
last
putting the
hour.
severe already out ahead of time, they're going to drop that warning.
Right.
That warning's going to go in 4 to 5 minutes, and there will be no tornado warnings left,
Yep.
and there will be great rejoicing.
Yep. So very quick hitting system here. As we mentioned, still expecting, you know, when the sun comes up tomorrow, we'll see more damage reports, whether they be tree reports or, you know, roof damage or what have you.
Hopefully not too much,
Just
but
due to
we
these-
expect at least.
When you get 70 to 80-mile-an-hour winds, you have damage.
Yeah. You're going to have some cleanup
Roofs,
to do.
carports, service station canopies, things of that magnitude.
Yeah. So just waiting for these severe thunderstorm warnings to clear.
They're both supposed to expire at 12:30, right?
Yes.
Oh, they both?
I think so. I think they should.
I think that tour's gone. I think they're both gone. We are no longer tornadoes, and no warnings. Tornado, only severes.
That's great.
Just waiting for our
So-
system to catch up.
Yeah, so the one I really want to hit is the folks in that those two big severes off on the east side. So if you are Waddy, Patonia, Frankfort, Stamping Grounds, Lawrenceburg, 70 to 75-mile-an-hour winds is coming very soon to you.
So this is what we're talking about them extending these severe thunderstorm warnings off to the east and northeast as these very strong winds continue to push off to the east and northeast as well.
No tornado warnings.
No tornado warnings, which is what we like to see. So for the television side of things, let's start to wrap things up here. We'll kind of give you an overview of what we're looking at really for the next half hour. I mean, this is a quick moving system, but as we've been mentioning, we've been watching the leading edge of these storms from Madison down to Shelbyville, Springfield, and down just east of Mumfordville as well, heading into Greene and Taylor counties as well. So these are now all severe warned at this time. So what we're looking at here, straight line wind threat, as we mentioned, as John mentioned, some of these severe thunderstorm warnings do remain in effect, I would imagine, until about 1 o'clock in the morning. 115 off to the north. So these will continue to move quickly, 50, 55 miles per hour in and out. And as that continues to do so, obviously the watch will continue to be chipped away here. So as we mentioned, we're just watching this leading edge of storms that stretches from, Madison, Bedford, LaGrange, Shelbyville. This will be moving out of portions of our viewing area soon, Springfield, and heading toward Greensburg, Campbellsville, and Columbia.
Yep.
But good news, as we mentioned, no more active tornado warnings.
Yep.
Dealing with some severe thunderstorm warnings.
Yep.
If you remain in one, still stay away from windows. Some of these storms are carrying a very strong wind threat, so we do want you to be safe. But we are going to wrap up things here, at least on the TV side. Appreciate you watching. I hope everybody can go to bed safely, obviously get a good night's rest now that the severe weather threat is pushing off to our east. So once again, meteorologist Mallory Schnell here, joined by meteorologist Austin Evans and John Gordon. We just have a few lingering severe thunderstorm warnings, and we appreciate you watching us this evening.